From the 1-800-HURT-NOW Traffic Center. Hurt in a car? Call KNR.
Brought to you by Home Genius Exteriors, the genius choice in roofing, siding, and exterior solutions you can trust.
Call Home Genius Exteriors now during our summer savings event and get 50% off materials for your new roof. Plus 0% APR and no payments till 2027. Call Home Genius Exteriors at 855-UR-GENIUS. See website for details.
As you make your way towards downtown on this Friday morning, be prepared for roadways to be a little slick because of the rain we've been having since overnight. Jeff Thomas, Odyssey Cleveland Traffic.
Broadcasting from the 92.3 The Fan Studios, fueled by True North Convenience Stores. NBA trade news, MLB trade rumors, and the latest on NFL training camps. Sports never takes a summer vacation. WKRK-FM and HD1 Cleveland Heights.
Touchdown, Brown!
We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. An Odyssey Sports Station.
92.3 The Fan. 2020 Sports.
Foster Griffin made his Guardians debut on Thursday and made it one to forget. The former All-Star going just 4 innings, giving up 5 runs on 7 hits. The Guardians lose to the Mets 13-6. Skipper Steve Vogt on what he saw from the lefty.
The stuff is really good. I think that's what we saw. I thought a couple curveballs got left up. Again, for the first time seeing him pitch, I think it's really exciting. I know he would have liked to have had a better one his first time out with us, but obviously this guy's been throwing the ball well all year. Just kind of left a couple curveballs up that they didn't miss.
Mets sweep the 3-game series. Guardians have dropped 11 of 14 in relief. Craig Yoho gave up a 3-run homer to former Cleveland player Francisco Lindor. Slade Ciccone failed to retire any of the 5 batters he faced as he allowed 4 runs on 3 hits and walked 2. Guardians going to be in Chicago tonight to start a 3-game series against the White Sox. Despite getting swept by the Mets, the Guardians still trail Chicago by just 3 games in the AL Central. White Sox lost to Boston last night 12-11 in 13 innings and were swept in Boston. However, Cleveland also is now tied with Minnesota for second place. The Twins last night beat Kansas City 4-3. Browns had their final practice, which involved installing the new offense on Thursday as training camp continued. Meanwhile, head coach Todd Monken revealed he did try to bring in Hall of Famer Joe Thomas to be a full-time coach. Monken said Thomas loves to coach, didn't want to commit to an everyday contract. Training camp for the Browns continues today in Berea. Hall of Fame game in Canton last night. Carolina able to rally and beat Arizona 33-30. Panthers quarterback Haynes King ran it in from 5 yards out with no time left on the clock. Carolina wins the preseason opener. Arizona rookie Carson Beck, he got the start, played into the third quarter for the Cardinals, was 15 of 19, 188 yards and a touchdown. Can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas. Up next now for the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima here on 92.3 The Fan.
The Afternoon Drive.
I've never been criticized at the level Shador has. So I can't necessarily say that's good or bad. I'll never be in that position. I'll never be that famous.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. You'll never be that famous. I don't know that anyone in the talk radio space
I'd love to see you fly one day, friend.
I don't know that anyone in the talk space can be that level of famous.
Look into it.
What comment did you make? Am I taking crazy pills here?
What
comment did you make?
Pills.
You said, I will never be as famous as Shador Sanders. I say, I agree for 300, Alex. And you go, what? How insulting.
Yes.
Band of Brothers.
Yes.
Watch it sometime.
Yes.
What world am I living in?
100%. You should say, no, don't say that, Nick.
No, I agree.
Your star is going to shine.
Your assessment was right.
The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan. The Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima.
The first thing we're trying to do is create the best version of our players that we can and get them to the top end of their measurable skill set. If we do that from a developmental standpoint, and then we have a system that allows our players to play fast, then we have something. But it starts with the players in terms of developing them to play at the highest, like I said, level of their skill set. So that's the first part. Are we getting our players to improve on a daily basis? At times, we may not see it collectively because we're rotating a number of players. But I think ultimately get that right, then what do they do well, and then blend them into the system and then see once we get moving the football, Bills, preseason games, really start to see it come together.
This is Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
You're going to want to give yourself some extra time today. Usually I say that about snow or ice. It was awful coming in today. So be careful. I'm seeing backups. I got channel 3 on over. We have the rotation, so we do 3, then 6, then 8. And it's a standstill right now. It's an absolute standstill, Tone. You said that you nearly hydroplaned like 3 times on the way in.
That was going to be the end of the Lima nuclear family. That was going to go right out the window this morning. And I'm telling you, man, I grew up on the east side.
Some people in Texas and Boulder, Colorado would be happy to see that.
I grew up in the absolutely, in Atlanta as well. I grew up on the east side in the snow belt. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think there was anything worse than having to deal with a foot of snow and whatever. But, normally when it's like that, everything just shuts down. And then they're pretty good at snow removal, and they take care of it. And not to really traverse the roads. Don't put yourself in danger unless you absolutely have to. When it rains, you just go about your day. You go about your week. It's
annoying.
It can be annoying.
It can be annoying.
You do go slower, obviously. And it wasn't even for me. Oh, and you said you had a torrential downpour. I did not, after you.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Mine was terrible.
Okay, so I notably get in a little later and doing my extensive prep at home. And as I was making my way in, I think I was going basically 40. And I was on a bridge. And on the west side, people know this, there has been, over the years, really bad areas of hydroplaning.
Yes.
And that's part of why they're doing the 6-year project. So hopefully, in another 5 years, if everything's on time, we won't have to ever worry about this again. But this morning, that was one of the worst commutes I've ever had.
It was terrible. I left by accident. I left really early today. And I got woke up. Liz had a night terror. She does that. I told you she does that thing where she'll go, and I'm a very light sleeper. So the second a noise is made, I'm up. And she goes, and she'll do that. And I'm like, oh, hey, oh, and then she'll go, I'm sorry. And I'm like, well, you can't help it. You're having a nightmare. What are you supposed to do? But it's 2:53, and I'm going, well, I'm up. I can't. My thing is 3:20. I'm just going to annoy myself, and I have to go to the bathroom. So away we go. It's always some weeks are worse than others, but it's always and she. And so I was well,
apparition.
Might as well get up. So I left at about 4:15, 4:18 today. And I'm glad because usually I try to leave it around that area, and the last couple of weeks is like, thank God I did, because I might have just pulled in 5 minutes ago. I mean, it was just awful.
Well, the crazy thing is when, like I told you, the hydroplaning thing, and there was some of that, but I was next to the 18-wheeler that also dumps 2 gallons of water on your windshield instantaneously. Yep. And so
got to stay away from those.
I can't feel my tires, and I can't see. And I'm just like, well, okay. Well, we'll see you on the other side.
I ran up.
Laughing about Lima's death.
Near Avon, there was a 3,500 diesel truck with a horse trailer on it.
Brother.
Just stopped in the middle lane. Just stopped.
Yeah.
Not slowly creeping.
Don't want to risk
something happened.
Yeah, it doesn't,
Man.
It's not going to, they got horses back there. They literally held their horses, Owen.
And luckily, I almost said goodbye to them.
Literally, you almost said goodbye to the horses. So, yeah, if you are...
Tuck it in and say goodnight.
If you're out there, be careful, okay? Just give yourself some extra time, because I don't know what the weather's going to be like. It's 7 o'clock or anything like that, because that's the thing about these weather things that pass through. Give yourself a little bit extra time, because there's a couple of parts.
I know there's been a wreck already on like the interchange at 90 and 71.
East
and while all of these
east and west side, there are lakes out there right now. So
and while the flash flooding, all of that stuff, not good. I'll tell you, the yard really needed it. It absolutely needed it. Needed a good gully washer.
Needed the rain.
Well, when you got those dirty gullies,
got to clean them up.
Yeah, needed it. Needed the rain. When the smoke comes down, needed the smoke. Needed all of it. All right. Yesterday, did Monken tip his hand about Watson having the edge, according to Mary Kay? Did he tip the hand? Did he show you the cards a little bit at all? according to Mary Kay, Tone?
Yeah, it was interesting last night. I sat down to watch season 2 of Homeland, and it's off to a rocky start. I don't know if I'm going to continue with it, but I noted it. I got a bunch of texts about it immediately, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting because we've all been looking, as even Mary Kay put it yesterday when she was on our air, breadcrumbs. We're looking at breadcrumbs. Like 2 days ago, it was the cadence. And then that ignited a war between the factions. This war that's being fought daily on social media. Well, Shador also drew him offsides. And then that got into a who drew who offsides more,
Whatever.
what were the drills, whatever.
I'm annoyed by that. I'm reaching a new level of annoyance.
Anyway, so...
We got 1 week until the first preseason game. I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was interesting. Yeah, it is funny. You said it. Those preseason games are going to be life and death to these people.
If you think that they're going to win 6 games like I do, or you think they're going to win 7 games like Mary Kay, or 5 games like Tone, this is your Super Bowl. Because this whole season's about figuring out who the quarterback is. So preseason game 1 in Chicago, and then the rest of the preseason, it's your Super Bowl. I swear to God, it's okay. We got to find out who the guy is just to make sure. Because I got to tell you, if it ends up being Deshaun, and I don't want to be so ghoulish right now. Everybody knows who I want to start. But if it ends up being Deshaun, we got to have a real serious come to Jesus moment with some of the people who are like dropping in, who are hardcore Shador Sanders fans. Because I'm going, hey, man, that's 2 coaches now who hasn't seen the brilliance of the Savior. And the only other person who's a head coach that has seen the brilliance of the Savior is his father. We have to have a serious conversation about how good the Savior is. Because they don't want to, there are people who they will never trust ownership, and I understand that. That's fine. Ownership is meant to be kept further than arm's length. But there's going to be people who say, well, they're paying him $230 million. I go, that doesn't matter. You know it. I know it. Owen knows it. The guy would throw money in the trash. He would go out there and throw money to try to cover up some of the manhole covers that are seeping water right now because of all the rain that's coming down. If it meant he could win one more game. Money is not an object. Again, you have 2 owners.
This year of the contract.
You have 2 owners in this town. They do not care about spending money. They'll spend it. It doesn't matter. I do not believe they want to play Deshaun Watson. They don't want to upset the fans. They don't want to make fans boo him at home.
They did not come into this offseason. They did not come into this training camp. I mean, fingers crossed. I hope we get something out of Deshaun Watson. No, that's not what they were looking for.
I know Munkin said they're not rebuilding, and to some degree, I know people are going to roll their eyes, but I think that I can understand where he's coming from there because you can't say that as a head coach. You're trying to win football games.
If anything, Ken, they hoped he played well so they could showcase him, which you and I laughed.
Yeah, there's no chance, but where there's a will, there's a way, right?
But they didn't want him to emerge so that he would start, and then what? We're at home week 3?
I'm telling you this.
So he could go out there to a chorus of boos?
And Lima loves to show me that I'm wrong, and he's never corrected me once because he knows it, I know it, and if you don't, you really should accept the reality of it. They do not want to play Deshaun Watson. They don't want to upset you. It's a season they're trying to get through to get to 2027. They don't want to play the guy. So if they play the guy, that means that the Savior didn't end up being the Savior. All right? Now, he might get his chance, and you do reserve the right that when he gets his chance, because I don't believe very much strongly at all in Deshaun Watson or his talent or lack thereof. That was years ago when he had that. He may get his chance, and if he goes out there and he plays better and gets the Browns going again, you will reserve every single right to question Todd Monken over what is. Then it is the Browns' problem. Then it is a functional organizational problem. But I know going in, they really don't want Watson to play, to start, to upset the fans or to risk upsetting the fans. Maybe some people are like, you know what? We're looking forward to 2027. He's got anything. He's got something fine. Go ahead and play him. Maybe they're like that. Maybe they're open-minded. But I think, you hear about people booing him at training camp for crying out loud. Like, it's not a really good vibe, man. Not really good.
All right.
So you have to have a discussion, an honest discussion about it. But we'll find out here starting next week.
All right. Mary Kay includes a significant part about the practice yesterday is that Watson went first in 2 7-on-7 periods, and Sanders went second up until day 8. The quarterback who served as quarterback 1 for the day, has gone first in almost all the 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s. The fact that Watson got those extra first-team reps could signal he's about to unofficially move into the QB1 role and get the bulk of the starting snaps, which is obviously what they are going to be honing in on now that installation has come to a close. So I ran that, what Mary Kay said, I ran by a bunch of people. There were some that agreed. There were some that were like, a little too early to tell because the way that Dylan Gabriel was getting in some of the reps too. But we'll see. Either way, we are getting closer, right? And now the question is that that first preseason game? We are looking
to get here at some point, buddy.
We are looking at different things, obviously, than the coaches are.
Yeah.
Like for us, for the fans, when they go to, is it at Chicago, that first preseason game, Kenny? We are going to be at home, and we are going to look at that game, and if one plays well and one doesn't play well, we don't care who it's against. We don't care that the Bears probably are not going to be playing their starters, and then whoever goes second is probably going to have an easier run, although whoever goes second might not have the offensive line, whatever. You're gonna have all that context, but it goes out the window.
Everybody has an excuse.
It quite literally will be look at the box score and who had flashier plays, and that should be the starting quarterback. Should we caution everybody to say that's silly? I've seen Jake Delhomme ball out in the preseason.
No, you saw Carson Beck yesterday ball out in the preseason.
Yes.
You saw Haynes King ball out in the preseason yesterday.
He had it his way.
And these are the Carolina Panthers. They have their quarterback situation kind of sort of figured out, I guess. I mean, it's Bryce Young. Anybody could play for the Arizona Cardinals right now, but you're going to assume it's Jacoby Brissett to start the year. So, I mean, these are two teams that are kind of set. But when you have these other players that are there, you're going to make arguments. I mean, that's what happens when you really don't know. Carolina's Carolina. I'm going to leave them out. But like Arizona, you're going to make arguments. You're going to say, hey, are we sure we don't want this guy to play? Are we sure if we're not going to be that great this year and we're trying to figure out where we're at in the quarterback conversation, are we sure that this guy doesn't have something? Like, I guarantee it, if they know what the hell they're doing, you have to have a serious conversation on the air in Arizona about the Cardinals and their future quarterback and whether or not they want to start it with Carson Beck or Keaton Slovis or anybody like that. Haynes King out there, I don't think you're going to get much when it comes to Bryce Young, but then there's a conversation that you're going to have if Bryce Young goes out there to struggle. But you have this team now that tone every single day is a campaign one way or the other, because there are people who just revile Shedeur Sanders. I think part of it is because they get attacked online for being critical of he's got some wobblers out there. There's been times he's held onto the ball too long. There have been some underthrows. I've never denied any of that stuff. There's been some really nice passes, but there's been some really nice passes out of both these guys. Even Dylan Gabriel. One didn't land yet from yesterday. That was a hell of an overthrow, but there's been some nice ones out there.
That was, people are wondering if he could get the ball there. No. He got the ball there.
He got it there.
It went straight up into the air.
I think he threw it to Lee Owens Stadium.
Did the wind get a hold of it?
Lee Owens Stadium. Lee Tressel Stadium. Lee Tressel Field,
right.
Sorry. Lee Owens is a different coach.
Hold on. It's coming down.
Hope Lee Owens is doing well. Good coach. Always liked him. Working for him for 2 years, I should say. Every day is a referendum. Every day is an argument, but this is going to be right there. And you can look at it and say that they screwed over our guy if you're a fan of one guy or the other once. I just don't think you could do it twice. They fired people. They brought in new staff. I just don't think you can do it again. And so this is going to be next week. Yeah, there's going to be some fights. There's going to be some arguments. I'm sure we'll dust off some of the other stuff that might collect some dust over the weekend. But damn it, like next Saturday, that's where it really begins. And if one of these guys go out and struggle against the Chicago Bears, it will be probably playing base cover 2 with a blitz here or there, but nothing really crazy, just to see what they got out of a guy. If one of these guys struggle, well, Monday's going to be one hell of a morning, because one way or the other, you're going to get some very strong conversation. And if both do well, then we're going to have a lot more fun than what I thought we were going to have with some of this stuff. 216-474-0092. And if they both do poorly, then I guess I would say we'll just talk Guardians, but I think they had the worst loss of the year yesterday afternoon. Something I got to bring up at 6:43 because this is just as bad as I've seen. And Lima Owen somehow says that there's a silver lining here, and I have to hear it at 6:43 this morning. Coming up in 5 minutes, I want to play that Mary Kay audio from yesterday, and also, it's not what I want. But I also don't think this scenario is the end of the world, and I don't think people need to freak out. What is it? I'll tell you. It's 7:23 on the Fan.
I'm Kyle Wright. If you're dealing with an injury, you don't need a sales pitch. You need straight answers. If you've been seriously injured in a crash or hurt at work, call me and ask your questions. We'll explain your options, and your consultation is free. We handle injury cases across the state of Ohio. Make it right with me, Kyle Wright. Call 844-WIN-OHIO. That's 844-WIN-OHIO, or visit ohattorneys.com.
Hot Wheels fans, are you ready? Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live Glow and Fire is coming to town. See Bigfoot, Tiger Shark, Bone Shaker, and the world premiere of Rhinomite. Coming August 8th and 9th to Rocket Arena in Cleveland, Ohio. Get tickets now.
92.3 The Fan, 2020 Sports.
Foster Griffin made his Guardians debut on Thursday after that trade with Washington. It was not a great debut. The lefty given up 5 runs in 4 innings, and the Guardians lose to the Mets 13-6. Skipper Steven Vogt on Griffin doing things his way, whether it's good or bad.
He said he'd been calling his own game for the majority of the year, so we thought, why change that? I don't think there was anything wrong with the mix. I think he just, a couple pitches got left up, a couple walks, and they made him pay.
Well, the Mets sweep the 3-game series. Guardians have dropped 11 of 14 in relief. Craig Yoho gave up a 3-run homer to former Cleveland player Francisco Lindor. Slade Ciccone failed to retire any of the 5 batters he faced. He gives up 4 runs, 3 hits, and walked 2. Guardians in Chicago tonight. They begin a big 3-game series against the White Sox. Despite getting swept by the Mets, the Guardians still trail Chicago by only 3 games in the AL Central. The White Sox lost to Boston last night 12-11 in 13 innings. They got swept in Boston. However, Cleveland is also tied with Minnesota for second place as the Twins last night beat Kansas City 4-3. Browns had their final practice, which involved installing the new offense on Thursday as training camp continued. Meanwhile, head coach Todd Monken revealed he tried to bring Hall of Famer Joe Thomas in as a full-time coach. Monken said Thomas loves to coach, just didn't want to commit to an everyday contract. Training camp for the Browns continues today in Berea. Hall of Fame game in Canton last night. The Carolina Panthers rally beat Arizona 33-30. Panthers QB Haynes King ran it in from 5 yards out with no time left on the clock as Carolina wins the preseason opener. Arizona rookie QB Carson Beck, he got the start, played into the third quarter for the Cardinals. Beck was 15 of 19, 188 yards and a touchdown. Want to catch highlights from the Fan? Get over to 923thefan.com or favorite 923 The Fan on the Odyssey app for all today's headline segments. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 923 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Welcome back to That Lux Life. It's your boy, Will Winmore. Today's guest, the Millionaire Ball from the new Ohio Lottery Daily Draw game, Millionaire for Life. Hey-o! So if a player matches 5 numbers and the Millionaire Ball number, they win $1 million a year for life. Hey-o! Or $100,000 a year for life if they match just 5. Hey-o! Millionaire for Life is the game. Millionaire Ball is his name. Play Ohio's newest daily draw game for your chance to win for life. Players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Here's something most roofing companies probably won't tell you. You may not need a new roof. Jeff Phelps here, everybody. Your shingles could simply just be dried out. Roof Max can restore them. Add up to 15 years of life to your roof and save you thousands of dollars compared to replacement. Think about that. A roofing company that doesn't want to sell you a new roof. Roof Max wants to help you keep the one you already have. Before you write a great big giant check for a roof replacement, call 1-855-ROOF-MAX for a free roof assessment. 1-855-ROOF-MAX.
Spring has sprung and love is in the air. And if you're looking to buy an engagement ring,
Jeff Thomas, Odyssey Cleveland traffic.
If you can't get to training camp during the week, let our team be your eyes and ears in Berea for breaking news all season long. Trust Cleveland Sports Radio, 92.3 The Fan.
Quarterback that's going to play is the one that gives us the best chance to score points. So it's all part of that. But I would hope that we could get quarterbacks and our offense to operate at a high level and then have the most talented guy that puts points on the board for us be the starter.
That's Todd Monken. One of the pieces audio that we got where there wasn't a truck backing up in the background or Blue Man Group was banging on drums in the background or whatever the hell else was going on in the background.
It's training camp. Training camp coverage powered by Expert Renovations and Consumer Tire. 92.3 The Fan.
When everything is constructed, I'm not talking about the new stadium, I'm talking about the facility. Truck's got to be like over there. Way over there.
So they're not installing that bowling alley right next to it?
There's a bowling alley underneath, and then on top is another bowling alley. It's unbelievable. Because people were texting us going, man, you guys are right. Like, there's always something going on. The mowers are going on in the background. The trucks are backing up. They're emptying the garbage. They don't have that by the garbage right now, do they? They used to have it right by the garbage. I don't think it is. No, because there's construction. I think that dock is gone now.
It was very smelly.
So Mary Kay Cabot yesterday, she brought up breadcrumbs. She brought up possibilities of who might be starting. I don't know. He's a plain-spoken guy. I don't think that, because he's plain-spoken, I think that people think like, oh, he's going to leave. He's going to leave hints. Guys, I think if he starts Deshaun Watson, the hints are going to be right there on the field.
I also think he'll just tell you.
Yeah.
Like when his either mind is made up or if it's leaning one way or another, like if he's got to be worried about how it's portrayed in the media, who cares, right? Who cares? He's got his football team. You know, he's trying to build trust with his players and in turn how he conducts himself every single day, how he coaches them, how he coaches the coaches, all that stuff is stuff we're not privy to, but is going to be, equally, if not more important. But
yeah.
I also think we're just to a point with Todd Monken, like he may not have a great feel of it right now because nobody has truly emerged.
Yeah.
Quarterback tracking be damned. Like, it's the full body of work. We haven't even gotten to the joint practice of the in the end, are you going to be heartbroken if one guy gets one less set of downs? Like these guys, it's up to them to make the most of it. It's up to them. Like we're not doing the victim thing from here on forward. Like Todd Monken did not come into this not giving somebody a chance. Okay, if anything, you could say Dylan Gabriel, but he did say Dylan can earn more reps. We think that could make things more difficult for everybody involved. That could muddy the process. But it's up to these guys.
If Dylan is getting more reps, I think they're muddying their own process.
Sure. But it could also be because the two guys did not take the bull by the horn.
There's been plenty of times, like we've seen this is a glorified crazy example, but I'm going to use it. Like Matt Castle was a decent enough starting quarterback in the NFL. Didn't he go to the playoffs 0-1 with the Chiefs? Did he? Or did he not?
Matt Castle, yes.
Yeah.
That was 1 year.
All right. The reason I bring him up, like Tom Brady had the job. Tom Brady ain't losing the job. But you can have a guy who looks good, but who's getting the reps? It's Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Like if Deshaun Watson was just out there, like pass after pass after pass, or Shedeur all over the place, and Dylan Gabriel got some reps and like, hey, looking okay. We're not talking about more reps for Dylan Gabriel. So Dylan could quote unquote muddy up the waters. He ain't muddying it up. It's Deshaun Watson and Shedeur who are. I want to hear Mary Kay here in just a moment. I want to tell everybody, 7:01 today, Joe Moorhead, Akron football coach, going to join us on the show. Can he convince me that this season ticket idea that I think is patently silly, can he convince me that it's a good idea? I got a lot of respect for Joe Moorhead. Want to talk to him coming up at 7:01. Maybe he could change my mind. I don't think he can. I think it's a silly premise that if you get season tickets, you're entered into a drawing to call the first series of offense against Robert Morris.
I can't wait for that. I already lobbied the fine folks at ESPN Plus
to
try to get this game.
Oh, yeah.
I also thought about it. It's for the Robert Morris game, right?
Yes.
It's at home?
Yes.
Wouldn't it be funny if the guy that wins the bid, if his name was actually Robert Morris? and he gets to script the plays against Robert Morris.
I would go by Bob Morris just to make it a little bit more fun. Mary Kay Cabot yesterday, she said if the season started right now, Deshaun Watson is QB1.
Yesterday turned the tide back towards Deshaun a little bit. And you don't want to overreact to one practice, but I think he needed to go out there and sort of seize the moment and show what he's all about and remind people why he had the edge in the beginning. He just looks the part of an NFL starting quarterback. He can manage all of the things that you need to do at the line of scrimmage. He's got mobility. He's got the arm. He has the total package right now. If the season started tomorrow, I think it would be Deshaun.
So that's Mary Kay Cabot on it, and I know a lot of people might not. Actually, I think some Browns fans are just kind of like, hey, whoever's better, let's see who it goes, because I don't think either one are going to be the starting quarterback in 2020. I think a lot of Browns fans are like that. Do you think that's the majority of
fans? How would you break it down?
I think...
Because it's tough.
Now you're muddying my water here.
Well, the only reason I ask that, because we talk to the fans every day. The problem is we get a very skewed version online that when I'm in public I don't see.
Exactly.
But... let's be fair. I'm in Bay Village, Ohio. So, and I work downtown.
There are more people who I think, if we're downtown Cleveland, Streetsboro, Bay Village, Avon Lake, coast to coast, we're talking coast, babe. I think that there are more people who are like, I don't want Deshaun Watson to play because he's a memory of bad football. They want to see Shedeur just to see Shedeur. But I think, honestly, most Browns fans are like, yeah, let's see what happens in 2027. Let's see what Dante Moore or Arch Manning or Julian Sayin or Sellers, et cetera, are doing. This, though, in the worst scenario that has ever been thought of. I've brought this up before, but Adam Schefter brought it up yesterday. This is on Pat McAfee's show on ESPN about that Week 1 starter and where it's not the end-all, be-all for the Cleveland Browns.
The fact that they open the season on the road in Jacksonville, then play the next week in Tampa, they might want to go with a veteran to start the season. But it won't surprise me if it's Watson early on and Shedeur for the bulk of the season. We're talking about who wins the starting job, but you also have to ask yourself which of these quarterbacks is going to play the most. Now, if Deshaun Watson comes back and plays well, he's going to keep that job. And if he struggles and they don't win, then you have to go get a long look at Shedeur to figure out how effective he can be before a quarterback-heavy draft in which you have two number one. So there's a few different ways to look at this quarterback situation. The small version is like, okay, who's going to start opening day, but who's going to play the most this season? And that wouldn't surprise me if it turns out to be Shedeur, despite the fact that Deshaun had maybe his best day at camp yesterday with all those touchdown passes and completions.
It's not the best case scenario, but it's not the worst case scenario either. I don't think it's a terrible thing if Shedeur were to not start the season. I do think, again, we might have to have a very serious conversation with those who are as deep in the Shedeur love as I've ever seen, and who are sending tweets and trying to get us on board and all the other stuff throughout. But I don't think it's the worst case scenario, because he could go out there and he could play. Deshaun Watson could go out there and play poorly, and then Shedeur Sanders would get his chance and he might have the bulk of the season. And it might be beneficial, not that it is the best case, no, but it might be beneficial, Tone, that you get a little bit of time, you catch your breath, you see what's going on around you, and then you get your chance, you get your crack at it. Because, one, I don't think Deshaun Watson is a very good quarterback anymore. Two, you also got to worry about his health, because he's been banged up throughout these last 6 years, 7 years now, really his whole career going back to his rookie season. I don't think that he can play a 17-game schedule, even if he were good.
Well, that's why I know you scoffed at the notion that maybe one edge he could have is that there'd be more design runs.
Well, I scoffed
for him.
Let me say this. That I do think is actually kind of telling, because there's one guy who's really athletic and mobile. The only reason I scoffed at it is because I think it shows you just how bad the quarterback situation is. Because when you and I first talked about Deshaun Watson 4 years ago, remember we were talking about tush push and things like that, and you thought it was absolutely ridiculous to put him in harm's way. And you were right. And now it's like, well, we can do more design runs with him. Well, he's not a running back. He's quarterback.
Well, it's fun, and he's coming off the injuries too.
Yes.
So the athleticism thing, it's going to be hard to see that until he actually plays against another team that's trying to kill him, right?
Yes.
And so, he was a freak 6 years ago running up and down the field. And then with the added ability to throw the ball on the run, all that stuff was what made him such a dynamic player. And the thought was, all right, over time, you get better at just sitting in the pocket and throwing, and that never really came for him. Just never really happened, and then the injuries came.
216-474-0092. Mike in Akron, you're first up on the Fan. Hello.
Hey, how you doing today?
We're doing wonderful, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay, I think we're being a little bit short-sighted, and what might really be going on here is we've got an offensive line that's brand new. Deshaun might be your sacrificial lamb here. They might want to be protecting their asset in Shedeur, and just like the gentleman said before you put me on, they might start Deshaun just to protect Shedeur and let this offensive line come together a little bit.
Well, offensive lines can get better as the season goes on. That's not lost on me. And also, I wondered the same thing for a moment when it came to Kirk Cousins, Mike, and starting. I know they got Tyler Linderbaum over there, and they paid him a boatload of money to do it. But when they're starting Kirk Cousins over there, as of right now, I believe, over in Vegas, and then Fernando Mendoza, who's the number 1 overall pick, is going to take over. That is something that crosses my mind. However, we are in year 2, and there's times where offensive lines, they just don't get any better. Guys get hurt. So if you're putting them out there, because I've always pushed back, Mike, on the thought of, well, we can't play them against Pittsburgh or we can't play them against Baltimore. It's like they're all pros. They're coming after you. All right? It's not Ohio State instead of Bowling Green. They're all pros. They can all hurt you. They can all make you look bad to some degree. I do think, though, that this is more about processing. This is more about who do you trust more. And I think that both guys have had their great days, and I think both guys have had their bad days. And I think right now you're just looking at a situation where neither guy has blown the doors off the Cleveland Browns coaching staff.
Well,
but no,
I'm
not going to dump on your point, though, Mike. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to dump on that because, and thank you very much for the call, just because I considered it with the number 1 overall pick before. I know Shedeur isn't the number 1 overall pick, even though it was bandied about before he was drafted. I do think it's a possibility. If you think that's stupid, please tell me.
I've said the whole thing. If you're a Shedeur fan, it might be best for him to not win the starting job.
It's not your first thing you're thinking of, Tone, when you say something like that. Let me clarify real quick. It's just going, if he's not seeing the field and he can't protect himself, and we got 5 guys out there that might be struggling, you're going to go get hammered out there. And we've seen that before with other quarterbacks, too, on this football team. Joe Moorhead coming up at 7:01. Now, we got people who want to get in about this. I'm going to get to you guys. However, this has got to be rock bottom for the Guardians, Owen. But he tells me that there's a silver lining. That coming up in 5 minutes. Be careful out there on the roads. The weather is terrible. There's lakes all over the highways. Give yourself a little bit of extra time.
If you're looking at new trucks this month, you know deep down in places you don't want to talk about, a Ram truck should be at the top of your list. I did the Ram side-by-side with the alleged competition.
Listen to 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn app.
$8:20 this morning, the dangerous one, Daryl Ryder, Nathan Zagura, 9 o'clock. Coming in hot, 9:45 this morning. I'm going to get back to your Shador calls, I promise. Your Browns calls. Joe Moorhead coming up in just about 20 minutes. However, I've been around a lot of Little League baseball over the last, over the last 7 years. I looked at Tim Herron when he was out there, I think in the eighth inning yesterday when things were getting out of hand? It was the 8th inning. And he was getting the throw back from the catcher, and I looked at him and go, he looks like a Little League pitcher who wants to be anywhere else but here. And he struck out a couple of guys.
Now, Hedges, on the other hand.
It was so... It was as bad as it gets. You had first off, you're losing 5-2. You claw back in that baseball game, and then things go straight to hell for you in 2 straight innings. People are disinterested. I'm hearing boos.
Was Watson there?
You get swept. You get swept.
They sent him back to Columbus.
Oh, yeah, he's not with the team either.
You get swept by the Mets. It's not just the worst series of the season.
Oh,
I think it's...
we gave up on our season Mets and traded 12 players.
Yeah. I mean, you lost to a bunch of guys who are strangers.
Yeah, they
with
had
each other.
no bullpen. Remember, they traded
Correct.
their guys.
It is... I don't know if I've had this type of drop-off emotionally where they go out, they make moves at the beginning of the week, and it's like, man, we could contend. We could go after the American League. And I guess you could say they still could. I guess you could. And I still hope so because they made moves, and who knows, these are always things, cautionary tales for the future for a lot of them. Hopefully it's not that way. But I haven't seen this. I haven't felt this big of a drop-off in emotions, and I can't remember when it comes to this team in the regular season. And dare I say, not just the worst series loss of the season, I think it's the worst of Vogt's managerial career.
It feels pretty grim.
I went from thinking he's trying to get guys worked up, like on Sunday in the rain, and this has been going on a while. They have struggled and scuffled for a while now. But this goes back to trying, I thought, to get guys worked up in the rain, getting thrown out of games, and I'm going, is he trying to get guys going, or is he cracking now? Which one? Because if you go out there and you raise hell and you get thrown out of a baseball game, and then you go on like a 3-game winning streak real quick, it's like, okay, you stoke the fire, here we go. But if you just keep losing and you look disinterested, and quite frankly, they look like they were pouting out there on the field yesterday as I was watching that game. That raises a concern. Hopefully it was just one bad game. Hopefully we're in a bad spell. Hopefully it will break. But we're saying hope instead of expect right now. That's a bad thing for everybody involved. However, Owen says there's a silver lining to all this. I'd love to hear it right now, Owen, because it was such a sinking, gut-busting feeling yesterday. What is the silver lining?
Well, first off, the White Sox, who are in the lead in the division, got swept as well. They just played red-hot Boston.
Central, the gift that keeps on giving.
They gave one away to Boston yesterday.
We play in the Browns quarterback competition of divisions in Major League Baseball.
You said silver linings. This is not about me trying to go,
I dig.
Look at this baseball team, because I've already established I don't have the same feeling about this team as I had about last year's team, right?
Yep.
And guess who you play 3 games with coming up?
Fair.
It's the White Sox. You're 3 games back right now. You could end the weekend. Now, the one caveat there is the Twins are also 3 games back, and somehow the Tigers, who sold Tarek Skubal, are 3.5 back. They were 5.5 back at the beginning of the week. They're 3.5 back. I don't think they're going for it. You play them next. So you play the White Sox and the Tigers in the next 7 games or 6 games, whatever it is. But they
going for us.
The opportunities are there. I don't know if they have the abilities to do that, but the opportunity to have your silver lining is still available. And if you look at strength of schedule, they're still the easiest one remaining. They've only got, according to Tankathon, where I get all of my great information.
They do baseball too?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
They do it all.
I didn't know that.
Man.
They're great on golf.
I've been on Tankathon in a long time.
Yeah. When
the
they break,
highlight coverage is amazing as well.
Who tanks in golf?
when they break down the Live Tour and the schedule, it's great.
Oh, you're joking. I thought you were serious for a second.
The only tough teams we have remaining, we have 6 with the White Sox, 3 with the Red Sox, and 3 with the Padres. After that, they're saying it's all.
The problem is we played the Mets.
Wash. Yeah.
This was supposed to be part of the easy part of the schedule.
Yeah.
And, it really sucks, too. I stopped short of saying jumping for joy after the trade deadline, but we were like, okay, they are going for it. And then they acquire Foster Griffin, and this is his 3rd straight bad start. And people are like, yeah, this first half of the season was a mirage from him. There was the hitters were going to figure him out. And it's like 3 bad starts already. Okay. And then John's like, well, he really wasn't an all-star. He was an add-in at the end.
Yeah, John.
Like,
John?
Where did you say that?
John didn't want to say that during the.
Yeah, it's
he didn't
amazing.
say that when we got him.
Didn't want to say it on Tuesday morning. Why didn't you want to say it on Tuesday morning, Josh? Or John?
My name's not Josh.
Whatever.
Ken.
I don't care what your name
Damn it,
is.
I've
Your
been here
name's
for
Josh
6
now.
months. I just, it was a good acquisition. It was an objectively good left-handed trade. You like it, but he wasn't this insane guy. He had a lightning in a bottle good year after being in Japan for 3 years.
Can I add one little thing here? Do you know who also pitched for the White Sox yesterday?
Who pitched for the White Sox yesterday?
Luis Castillo, who got his ass blown up, and they owe him $40 million in Chicago. So if you're going to get guys getting blown up, would you rather not have to pay Foster Griffin a bunch of money, or would you rather have to pay Luis Castillo a bunch of money? We're talking about silver linings here, Owen.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd love to give you another
better.
scheduling silver lining. Here's who they have left.
All right.
Bottom of the barrel Angels team. Bottom of the barrel Rockies team. One rung above the barrel A's team right over the Angels.
All right.
Bottom of the barrel, they got 6 with the Royals. They got the Giants still, and they got the Blue Jays.
We didn't say
when you look at schedules.
We didn't say the season was over. We said it was rock bottom. At least I think. Do you think that this is rock bottom?
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way I felt about them, going into 4th of July last year. Vogt was kind of acting the same way in the dugout too, where I was very upset with Vogt at that point last year because he wasn't doing anything. He seemed indifferent about it all. And this year it seems like he's trying some different approach. I mean, the guy's, it's his 3rd year ever managing a baseball team. His first 2 years, everyone considered him the best manager in baseball. So
literally,
they gave him the award for it. Eventually, you're not going to be the manager of the year. And I know those things are the manager of the year, the coach of the year. Those awards kind of go to the guys that surprise you. And eventually you want to get to where they're like, you don't get that award anymore. You're just a good coach now. You're just a good manager. So we don't give you that one anymore. But I guess I'm going to have to trust Vogt with the ingredients that he has.
Yeah. Because
I'm going to have to trust him.
It's such a weird team where you think that they're going to go to a World Series after a week, and then they go straight to hell. You think that the season might be ending. They get going again. They make these moves. I thought that they could contend for the American League, and then you run into this buzzsaw that is the Mets that haven't been a competitive team all year. Gio in Cleveland, you're first up on the Fan. Hello, Gio.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
We're doing well, Gio. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is kind of almost for Owen because I know Owen's a big baseball guy as well. And it's like, Vogt is showing us exactly what we thought of him and what we know he is and what he's been since he's been here. And Owen, as soon as I say this, you're going to know what I'm talking about. He's a tinkerer. You just can't leave a good thing alone. Remember the Yankees series? We went into the Yankees series. We took 2 of 3, and then he made the pitching change. I want to say I think he pulled Williams too early the next inning. Like, he's a tinkerer. Like, we were going in winning 13 of 15 games in that series, but he had to change it. Like, who the hell is Petey Halpin? You just traded for one of the top power hitters in baseball. And I just don't understand this guy. He's always got to tinker. He's always got to move things around. I mean, it's just that's what he is. And a lot of baseball people have been saying this for quite a while now. Yes, he won Manager of the Year. I get it. Okay. He is a tinkerer. He can't leave a good We had a solid lineup before the All-Star break going in, and he had to mess with it. And it's like he's playing guys like I said, I don't mind the Petey Halpin thing once in a while. Daniel Schneemann should be here. The fact that they sent Kyle Manzardo down is an indictment on this organization. They never give guys at bats. At least I will give Tito his flowers. Tito said a batter needs at least 600 to 800 at bats in the major leagues to know what we have. Like, we give guys 60 at-bats. A guy will go 3 for 4. Manzardo specifically, one game went 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs, and Vogt sat him the next day.
Well, yeah, but how do you explain Gabby Arias, though, other than other people getting banged up?
He is the ultimate utility player. That explains the mediocrity that we live with in this organization. He's cap friendly. He doesn't make any money, and he was out of. The only reason he was DFA'd is he's out of options. How many years did we live with the Gabby Arias experiment? How long was it?
Well, that's why he hung on though, because he was out of options.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Out of options.
Gio, you might be the first one to do it. Thank you very much for the call. Is he the first the first critical vote caller we've had in 2.5 years of Stephen
We don't
Vogt?
get many of them.
Because yesterday online, social media reactions on X are brought to you by
Shibe & Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
I started to get it yesterday because I had to remark, like, they look like a little league team that was pouting in the middle of a day, hot Saturday, that they don't want to be there. They're getting smoked by some other team, and it's just, let's get through this. Let's just get 10 run and get out of here.
Would
That's the
people
way they acted
respect
yesterday.
Petey Halpin more if his name was just Pete?
Or Peter.
In this city? Absolutely. Coming up at 8:20, the dangerous one, Daryl Ryder. What would you do if your toddler made a $47 mistake? I'm going to be asked that question coming up later. And Joe Moorhead, I'm a huge Akron fan. I'm an Akron alum. I think that this season ticket thing and calling plays at the beginning of the season is an awful, silly idea. Can the head coach of Akron, who I very much respect, change my mind? We could hear some fireworks in 5 minutes on The Fan.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
I have no idea how Carson Beck's NFL career is going to go. But if nothing else, we at least have the 2026 Hall of Fame game. Carson Beck did the unthinkable. He made what is categorically the worst game of the NFL season watchable. He was throwing the ball down the field, all over the field. It was beautiful. Let's start a quarterback competition in Arizona. It'll at least make the Cardinals interesting. I'm Denton Day.
Like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. Not, but wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
5 yards out with no time left on the clock. And all the latest Browns content filtered right to your phone during training camp by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
All the hits, grunts, strains, and sprains. Training camp coverage like nobody else. The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. 92.3 The Fan.
I was critical of it. Still am. But maybe my opinion can be changed. I have a great respect for Joe Moorhead. Good coach, good offensive mind. We've had him on this show before, but not a big fan of the promotion that's going on right now down at Akron.
Meanwhile,
as an Akron alum, as an Akron fan.
You are. Meanwhile, I was loving it, absolutely every minute of it. In fact, I'm doing everything I can to get on the call for this game.
It is September 12th. It is not the season opener. It is the home opener. They'll be at Wake Forest on Thursday, September 3rd. And then the Zips come home Saturday, September 12th. Robert Morris, 3:30 p.m. Hopefully we'll have the Tone Master General on the call on ESPN+. But until then, we have the coach of the Zips on the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, Call Car Right hotline. The head coach of the University of Akron Zips, Joe Moorhead, joining us on the show. Coach, good morning to you.
Good morning. Great to be back, guys. How are we doing today?
We're glad to have you. My first question is, why?
Why? I think that's a good question. And when I was sitting in the office last week and Dr. Goodrich and Matt Potterf come in and approached me with the idea, and I'll be honest, I mean, I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. And, the more we sat down and discussed the details and the potential benefits and had a chance to kind of marinate on it and think it through, I think it's a great idea. And you asked why, I think it's threefold. Number one, it presents a unique experience that's never been done, I don't think, at any level. Number two, it has brought some momentum and notoriety to a program that's played a backseat to the Browns and the Buckeyes for as long as I can remember. And number three, we are the lowest operating budget in FBS football by, I think, close to $3 million and didn't have any revenue share up until this December. And now we have a mere pittance. And, part of the ticket sales directly fund the football program. So, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So, with one single promotion, our administration has given, our players and our program an opportunity to move forward at a place, quite frankly, that's been historically very difficult to win games.
Joe Moorhead, Zips head coach, joining us on the show. Would you be less open to this if you weren't the play caller?
Yes.
I figured. That makes me feel a lot better about this because, people there's people looking at the website going, they don't even have an offensive coordinator. I go, yeah, dummy, who do you guys think calls the plays on that football team? So if you had an offensive coordinator, why would you be less open to it if you had you are the offensive coordinator, but if you had another guy calling plays, why would you be less open to it?
Yeah, once this thing went viral and, some of my, peers in the profession and friends back home, they're like, you don't even let your assistant coaches call plays. You let some random person who wins a raffle call it. And essentially it's going to be a collaboration. I'm going to go through my normal game plan process that occurs during the course of, I think this is my 19th year calling plays now of 29 in the profession. And we'll put the game plan together. We'll practice it. Thursday and Friday is when I generally start putting the opening script together. That's anywhere from 10 to 15 plays. And then I rank the concepts within each situation, third down, fourth down, red zone, because hopefully this opening script gets us down into the red zone. Would love to avoid a third down. And then this person's going to come in, whoever wins, have their set of ideas, and I'm going to show them what we have going on, and we'll talk it through and hopefully come to a good a good mesh of ideas, and most importantly, put some points on the board. And Ken, here's the thing. The first thing is you got to address this thing with the players, right? And they see it. These kids live on their phones. I addressed it after practice. I say, listen, we're not letting the damn circus roll into town here. Because number one, you don't ever want your players to think that you're, ruining the integrity of what's necessary to win a football game. So that was addressed immediately. Secondarily, you don't want to do anything to make a mockery of the game and show disrespect to a sport that's given me everything I have in my life, essentially. And you don't want to do anything to belittle your opponent, because I have the utmost respect for Coach Clark and what he's done and the players at Robert Morris. So I think, some of the things where a skeptic would say, and I get it, I completely understand it, because that's what I thought at first, but kind of more you go through the subtlety and the nuance and the benefits of it, and I just think the more I thought about it, and the more I think it's been a positive.
Well, and I also love, Coach, that you guys are doing like a press conference, you're micing things up. There's going to be supporting video, so people see a little bit how the sausage is made. Not so much that you're giving away state secrets, but that there can be some fun with this. But there's going to be a real education on football, and I think what you guys are going to be able to do when all is said and done is show people that this isn't a joke. That being able to script plays, everybody thinks they can do it, but you're going to show the complexity that also surrounds it.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And like I said, year 19, and I've essentially built a career and had a lot of success at a bunch of different schools, and I think do it at a fairly high level. And this is something I think very similar to what we've done at other schools, where we have a guest coach program, a booster, a teacher, an administrator, someone from within the school, where they come in for Friday night meetings, sit in, and have an opportunity to stand on the sideline for games. And invariably you get emails that show up the following Monday raving about, number one, the complexity of what it takes and what the kids are asked to do from a mental standpoint, and then just the speed of the game and how hard it is for these kids to react in real life when a person on the other side of the ball is doing everything they can to prevent you from doing your job.
All right, so Coach, you got to help us out here, because we wondered if there was going to be a real fair contest here in choosing who ends up ultimately getting to do this. So what have you been told, and what kind of input have you given about how ultimately this lands?
That is above my pay grade, and I'm staying the hell out of that. We got meetings coming up here in about a half hour, and then practice number 4, and I got to concentrate on running this team and, unironically enough, scripting the plays for practice and making sure that everything's operating at a high level so we can build on the momentum of last year, right? 4 league wins for the first time since, I think, 16, 5 wins overall for the first time in a long time when we took over the worst program in college football. So I'm going to let the people that are way smarter than me handle those type of decisions, and whoever they pick, we'll work with that guy and get some points on the board, hopefully, on that opening drive.
Can you can their call?
Oh, can, alert, all that pro-style stuff they talk about? Yeah, absolutely. Well, I shouldn't say this. They'll be there. We'll discuss it, and hey, if it's like 3rd and 1 and they're calling like something that ain't gonna get one, then we're gonna have to. Hey, man, I don't think this is a great idea right here. So, like I said, the word I've used throughout this whole quasi-media tour here, with all the attention that's garnered, is collaboration. I think that's the key word that we have to keep in mind moving forward.
Head coach Joe Moorhead, the University of Akron, joining us on the show. After that first series, what do they get to do?
It depends. If we score a touchdown, they may rip the damn call sheet out of my hand and hand them the headset and tell me to go get some popcorn. So, hell, Tone, I went on McAfee yesterday, and Tone had 3 drawn up, and I said, hell, that might be 3 one-play drive touchdowns. So the answer to that, Ken, is to be determined.
Coach, who have you heard from in the coaching community? Obviously, you've had this illustrious career. You've won Offensive Coordinator of the Year, multiple times. Not many people can say that. You've won conference titles as a play caller in so many different places. Who have you heard from throughout this?
I don't want to put anybody out there on blast, but I've heard of a lot. I've heard from a lot, from NFL coaches to Power 4 to Group of 5 to hell. I'm an old bus league coach. I've coached at the lower levels, and I've heard from them, and then all my buddies back home in Pittsburgh and family. And yeah, it's the same thing. And I get it, Ken. I get, and I understand why you would this would be met with some skepticism, but when you kind of talk through it, they're like, man, that's a pretty neat idea.
If I won and I just wanted to do wing T and run Rip 28 for the whole series, would you be okay with that, or does that just not work with your offense?
Well, see, you watch our offense. I take a lot of pride, and it's one that we've come up with and created, and it's being replicated at all levels of football. So you say, all right, wing T Rip 28. Well, what is Rip 28? If that's an outside zone or it's a pin and pull, right? So, okay, I like that. We run outside zone. We run a little bit of pin and pull. Okay, how can we run that? That's not wing T. All right, so that's collaboration. All right, we want to run stretch. We want to run wide zone. We want to run pin and pull. But, we ain't equipped to run the wing T. What can we do to run 28 stretch out of something that we traditionally line up in?
Hold on, Coach.
We're playing the music now. We do nitty-gritty football.
This is good. It has to happen.
It's time for nitty-gritty football.
Jamison Crowder wheel route down the right sideline. Jordan Reed touchdown and a 4x1 individual ISO slant.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
This is great, Coach, because we had real football last night. Well, real Hall of Fame game football last night. So we're ready to break it down. We're in the trenches here. We got training camp. They finished the installs for the professional team during the quarterback competition. So our fans, they're starting to get that fix. They need that football, running through their veins, and you're giving it to them.
Absolutely. Kenny says he's singing Boys Will Fall Somewhere, and everyone's tearing up. We're ready to run through a damn brick wall here.
Man, he is a coach, man. He almost, I'm like, and I'm almost on the edge of, telling people to go get season tickets right now.
Don't dip your damn toe. Jump right the hell in, man. Jump in the pool, buddy.
Yeah, you can't wear the Penn State stuff anymore. Now you got to bring in Akron stuff now.
Well, I got to get the stuff that fits. I mean, they got all that basketball stuff they want to give me. And I'm like,
you guys all know Kyle Foster. Put that text in. You know that. You know Kyle. Get that done.
Let's go. Let's raid the merch,
Coach. I obviously I'm pulling for your success. I'm pulling for the program's success. I'm obviously a big fan. I'm wishing you well. I hope this goes well. Honestly, I really hope it goes really, really, really well. And Lima's like, you made a big deal out of nothing. You're an idiot, Kenny. I hope that's how it goes. And I wish you guys the very best for the entire season. And thank you for hopping on. And if anybody was going to convince me of this, it was going to be you. And you did a hell of a job, Coach. Thank you.
I appreciate it, guys, man. Enjoy the day. Have a great one.
Thank you. You as well. Coach Joe Moorhead.
Who's not watching at 3:30? They may need to flex this game into prime time, September 12th against Robert Morris, or at least the first drive.
I got to look at our schedule. I might need
can we get a cut in?
We might get a live cut in.
I might have to have our PA announcer for our youth football program do the update like he does the Buckeye scores. By the way, scrimmage Crestwood yesterday. Fine program. Fine young people.
Yeah.
Fine young people on that football team. Yep.
Kenny, this tweet got
a certain corner got caught guessing too many times, and I let him know my opinion in front of the parents and God and everybody. But other than that,
this is when the teaching happens.
It was a good outing.
This tweet is up to 22 million impressions. Anybody who knows anything about college football has seen this. They know this, and the thing is, this is going so well that these other coaches are looking at their ADs going, no, don't even think about it.
Well, no, but he made. When he first said it, I mean, that makes a bunch of sense. I didn't realize that the revenue and everything was that low. I did not know that. I knew it was towards the bottom of the MAC, but if there were another offensive coordinator, like an actual it's like, okay, Travis Schweitzer is going to call their offense, and it's like your first time calling offense, and this, I'd have a problem with it, and I think that he would put his foot down on it, and I'm glad he said he would. But, I mean, this guy has called high-level offense for a long time. He's going to have confidence in himself. I feel better. I feel better about it. But it's not like, what, are they going to lose me as a fan? No. Ain't going to happen. Big thanks to head coach Joe Moorhead for joining us on the show. He was on the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right call Kyle Wright hotline. Coming up at 7:45, we go about last night where Kawhi Leonard, is he ever going to play basketball again? The Raptors got Kawhi Leonard. I think he signed with Toronto so he did not face charges in America. This is unbelievable. Coming up in 5 minutes, the Anybody But Shador crowd. You got another player to contend with. Ken Carman, Tone Master General on The Fan.
against Arizona. 33-30 Panthers. Quarterback Haynes King runs it in from 5 yards out with no time left on the clock. Carolina takes the preseason opener. You can now find 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the best content from our shows each and every weekday. That's 92.3 The Fan on YouTube. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
This person's going to come in, whoever wins, have their set of ideas, and I'm going to show them what we have going on, and we'll talk it through and hopefully come to a good mesh of ideas. Most importantly, put some points on the board. So we're not letting the damn circus roll into town here.
That's head coach Joe Moorhead of the University of Akron Zips. I feel better about it. I do wonder how much you get long term. But, okay, I guess we are talking way more about Akron football than we ever would have talked about during Brown's preseason. So
he admitted, he thought it was ridiculous, and he reiterated that the circus, it's not coming to town. He's not gonna let this thing get away from him.
So I like to make myself feel better about things. Obviously, I'm try to be positive. And what got me going, getting a little defensive of the idea. So if you're just joining us, we're going to get back to the Browns here in a second. We have About Last Night at 7:45. What kind of got, when they first had the idea, when I first saw it of play caller for a day, which that's the first thing I read, I go, you're not going to do a whole game. It's the opening series against Robert Morris at home. That's September 12th. Lima is openly campaigning to do the game on ESPN Plus, which is what he does games for. He's done it for a long time.
I don't want to script the plays. I want to just do the game.
Which would be, because honestly, depending on who actually gets picked, you guys should put the guy up in the booth with you for a break.
Oh, of course.
Or woman, doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, it's open to both. So my whole issue of it was, first I go, what is he? Did he lose his mind? Because even before this, I have a lot of respect for Joe Moorhead. I really do. I've only got the chance to meet him a few times. It's not like I'm texting him all the time, like with other coaches and things like that. But I know Kyle and everything over there with that staff, and I think he's a wonderful person, and I want them to do well. I thought for a second he might have lost his mind. What got me half-assed defensive of it is because people were sending screenshots. They don't even have an offensive coordinator. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Almost said dip bleep on the air.
Yeah,
he's the play caller.
You got to rip that card out of his cold dead hands. Yeah. That's how he operates.
And I've seen them how they practice, and he's got the headset on. And when they were in spring practice and doing that stuff, he is an engineer of offense. He's an offensive guru in so many ways. Like when I'm throwing jokes at him, I'm not trying to match wits because he'd just embarrass me on the air if he wanted to about offensive knowledge and putting that together. I loved the answer to Wing T when he was saying, well, it's collaborative, and I'll show you how to collaborate it, which was excellent. Facts are facts. It relieved me to hear that, hey, if it were Mason Lima, a first-year offensive coordinator who finally just got the bump from Moorhead State, whatever, finally just got up into bowl series college football. He's 26 years old. I'd probably have a sincere problem with it. It's him. He seems to be pretty comfortable in his life. So be it. Fine, so be it. I will tolerate it, okay? Not going to be a fuddy-duddy. Not going to sit there and rip it. When we get to September 12th, I'm not going to rip him, go crazy, or anything like that. I want Joe Moorhead to do well. I want the organization to do well. The program, I should say. So fine. I didn't realize... I know that everybody in the MAC is kind of hurting. I didn't realize they were hurting that much. So if that's an idea, then hell, that's an idea. So be it. All right? I'll meet you halfway. That's as far as I'll go.
Yeah, when he does a coaching clinic, people from all over the country come see his offense. Oh, without a doubt.
Any podcast he appears on, I'm saving it and listening to it because he knows offense, he knows ball. The guy really is that brilliant when it comes to offense and that brilliant when it comes to the game. I will never not say that. And he is a good guy. Darryl Ryder joining us at 8:20 this morning. All right, on to a person that everybody says is a bad guy. That's Anthony Lima. He is the leader, according to a lot of Browns fans, or really Shador fans, of the anybody but Shador crowd. And apparently we got a new one last night when it comes to Carson Beck.
Oh, I saw this. This was This is kind of funny. Hey, you got to have fun with this stuff. I implore not just Shedeur fans, everybody, like if the quarterbacks aren't looking good in camp, if they're throwing wobblers, if they're not processing, if they're not getting them lined up, if they're having all the issues that, it seems like they're having, and Todd Monken has to scream and yell at them and use up whatever is left of his voice because these QBs are not emerging. They're not yet ready to, take a hold of this thing. Then we got to have some fun with this and have a sense of humor. And last night, Carson Beck, 15-19. There's a tracker for you. In a game, against the defense. I don't know how many of these guys are actually going to be playing in the NFL this year, but he was lighting it up yesterday, and I was getting the tweets.
Yeah,
and now most of it's in humor. Most of it is obviously kind of a joke, but you do wonder overall, like the anybody but Shedeur thing. I don't want it to be anybody, but I would love it to just be Shedeur. The only reason that we brought up Malik Willis and Anthony Richardson and eventually, Brendan Sorsby, like the reason we talked about all these guys is because we don't know if Shedeur is going to be good enough to prevent the Browns from drafting a quarterback.
I got nothing against Carson Beck. Again, I did not like him at Georgia. I thought that he did show a lot of toughness and did grow at an obscene level at Miami. But my stance is still my stance. Like, I'm not trying to do guessing games next year and find diamonds in the rough. Like when you brought up Malik Willis, I wasn't a big fan of that conversation. Why? Because I don't think that he is a guy that we should be investing our time into. And you can say, Kenny, Shedeur isn't a guy that you need to be investing your time into. Deshaun isn't. They're already here. See, this is what got misconstrued over that time in the early part of the winter and the very early part of the offseason. If I'm going to go through this season, I thought we were going to struggle regardless, and we were going to have Myles Garrett here, right? Now we don't have Myles Garrett here. We got Jared Verse here, and I'm playing the long game. I said to you yesterday, and I mean it. I think that you need to establish a culture. Guys need to care about each other to really go out there and accomplish something special. And Jared Verse can help that. But I just don't want any more time wasted than what I expected us to go through this year figuring it out. If Shedeur was a quarterback, if he wasn't. And Deshaun Watson at the time, once they hired Todd Monken and we were getting texts, I'm like, all right, Deshaun's going to get a real chance at this thing and he might end up starting week one. And with the veteran coaches, et cetera, et cetera. All right, let me go back to it. Is this year you could take it as a waste of time, or I could say, well, this is another developmental year for some of our young guys. I'm thinking big picture. It's another developmental year for some of our young guys. We got to get our offensive line figured out, all those other things. Now, let me get to next year. I'm not taking third-round guys. So if there's a Carson Beck next year, I'm not interested. If there's a Haynes King next year, I'm not interested. I'm not looking for other diamonds in the rough here. You got your second first-round pick. We're not assing off with this thing. I got my list of quarterbacks. There's not going to probably be 8 to 10 quarterbacks taken in the first round. I don't think that this is going to be 83. Eventually, it's going to narrow it down. But I don't think it's going to be like last year where there were 5 guys being brought up and then there was really one guy. Yeah. I know Ty Simpson ended up going in the first round, but there was really one guy at the tippy top of all that. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in wasting any more time than the time that people are going to accuse us of wasting right now. So if a guy's in a Browns jersey, okay. But Carson Beck don't make a damn bit of difference to me. I wish him no ill will. He doesn't make a damn bit of difference to me. Neither does Malik Willis or Brendan Sorsby or any of the other names. Because when it came to Sorsby, I thought he might be a riser, but I didn't think that he was like, well, we forget using any of the other stuff. This is the guy. I need to feel as confident as possible. Like if we get the number 3 overall pick and Dante Moore's there and Dante Moore has a hell of a season, turn the damn card in, print the jerseys, let's get going, and let's see if this kid can rip it. Or we'll go back to the drawing board in 4 years again. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like Baker Mayfield did not work out here, and we know that it's up in the air right now in Tampa Bay, which if you heard Jason Light, he avoided that question very strongly. And then Todd Bowles and Jason Light said that he was still the franchise quarterback. And it's like, well, you're not
when you treat him like one. Yeah.
It didn't work out here, but I could say you went for the gusto. You went for a guy. He's still a pretty good quarterback. it just got obviously very ugly very soon. What can we learn from that to make sure it doesn't happen like that in the future?
Well, let me ask you this. We get criticized at times, especially during camp. All you guys do is do hypotheticals. I got a good hypothetical for you.
Well, yeah, when you're not a good football team, you got to sit there and do hypotheticals. That's how that works.
What if Todd Monken went up to the office, Andrew Berry, and said, I want Carson back. Go get me Carson back. I've coached him. We've done great things together. Go get me Carson back. What would Kenny say about that?
I'd go, why didn't you say anything back in April?
Right. Maybe he did. I mean, who knows?
Well, now that Carson Beck just did this, the price went up. I'm not giving up any more draft capital for Carson Beck.
It is funny how that works, though. You're right. But this is...
Of course, it is the Browns, so I wouldn't be surprised if we had Carson Beck by the time September comes and Shador and Dillon are both gone.
Well, I bring it up. I brought up the example earlier in the week about way back 2007. It actually worked out for the Browns. But the guy that won the quarterback competition that year, and it was supposed to be a fair quarterback competition, Charlie Fry. He started the first game of the year.
Which I'm sure people said
and
that.
And they traded him.
And I'm not saying not to make a move just so you look good, but that should have been an indictment on the coaching staff.
Always. Absolutely.
It should be an indictment. That's why I keep saying, and if you want to listen to it, fine. If you don't want to pay attention to it or you want to accuse us of saying things that we don't mean, fine. I don't give a damn about that. But I'll tell you about this. If you go into this season and Deshaun Watson ends up being the starting quarterback and he sucks out loud and Shador Sanders goes in there week 3 in the first home game and he just lights it up all over the place, yeah, I'll feel really great that Shador Sanders had a good game and we hopefully would have won that week 3 football game. But we have to have a segment or many about the confidence level of Todd Monken and this coaching staff where you went through an entire offseason, you went through an entire training camp, an entire program, and you got to this thought where you didn't see Shador Sanders doing any of this. Like, that's what I would have to do. It's uncomfortable. It's not fun. It has to be done, Tone. And so even though that, yeah, it looks like a lot, but yeah, I know we've waffled back and forth this week, and there was a time coming off that practice that I thought, man, maybe Shador really has a crack at this thing. Maybe my tide is turning here. I would still say Deshaun Watson is in the lead to start week 1. Doesn't mean that I don't reserve the right, and I understand that he reminds me of bad football, and I'm ready to move on, and I think a lot of Browns fans agree with me. I'll be open-minded to Todd Monken. I'm not going to rip Todd Monken that much harder just because my guy didn't get to start. I want to be fair, but I'm also going to be fair in the criticism too.
I do wonder if the Todd Monken honeymoon goes away immediately if that was the case. If it's Deshaun Watson out there. And again, it's not till the end of September, but game 3 against Carolina is your first home game.
Well,
and if they're 0-2 and it's been bad quarterback play, like, could it be as easy as, all right, we'll go to Shador week 3?
The honeymoon's going to end immediately, because I have to have a conversation, and people aren't going to want to hear it, and I told you about this in the opening segment. I'm not ready to do it now because we haven't even got to the first preseason game. But you cannot discount or you can't look away from, hey, that's 2 Browns coaches, and I guess you can just try to blame it on the Browns. Maybe that's the case. It's easy to do. That's 2 Browns coaches that haven't seen the specialness in Shador.
Two coaches who are completely different. Their ideologies are different. They could not attack the game more differently than Kevin Stefanski and Todd Monken.
And the last guy to believe in how special Shador is Dion. That is not good. That will be a serious conversation if it happens. I don't want to have it yet. It seems ghoulish right now. I think that both guys, I want them to be neck and neck. I would say that Deshaun Watson is in the lead as much as I don't want to because I want Shador Sanders to start. 8:20, Daryl Ryder going to join us on the show. I'm not just worried about the starting quarterback. We got to talk about the starting 5 when it comes to the offensive lineman out in front of either of these quarterbacks or any of these quarterbacks if you want to throw Dillon Gabriel in there as well. Coming up in 5 minutes, we got a bout last night where I don't know if Kawhi Leonard's ever going to be able to play basketball again. Steve Ballmer's in some hot water because he was his boss. And the most embarrassing loss of the season yesterday, the biggest test of Stephen Vogt's career, coming up in 5 minutes on The Fan.
480 northbound US 422 because of a crash. And 71 northbound, there are issues because of an accident at Denison, and that's leading to delays of more than 10 minutes. Jeff Thomas, Odyssey Cleveland Traffic.
When there's news that affects the Cleveland sports fan, Darrow Ryder is on top of every headline. Listen to his reports on the station with the most local sports talk in town. 92.3 The Fan. Powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store. On the road this summer? Get the most live sports talk in Ohio on 92.3 The Fan. Or binge our podcast on the Odyssey app.
So much can happen around the globe that we never hear of.
I really don't give a I mean, it had nothing to do with me. I mean, they moved the meeting. I didn't miss it. I was just trying to get a sweet haircut.
How it is when you win in Cleveland, man. They love you. When you lose, whew, it's the way it should be.
He's a piece of crap. The kid, he sucks. He's sucked his whole career.
I got rumors about him. How he couldn't please his wife, and so now he's divorced.
That sounds really good, but I'm not 6'5", and I don't have the athletic ability to play in the NBA.
Now, the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima give their thoughts on what you might have missed about last night.
Right before about last night, I believe Jeff might have said it during the update. I want to say it again. Camp is closed to the public today because of the inclement weather. The Browns, right, for the safety of our fans, players, and staff, camp today has been moved inside, closed to the public due to that weather. They will practice today indoors, but unfortunately, because of the weather, it is closed to the public.
That leaves, I think, 3 more left. Saturday, the following Tuesday, following Wednesday, and those will be your last opportunities to go see them in camp.
So you can get on out there. Hopefully the weather will hold out on those days, but sad to tell you that today, going to be closed because of the weather out there, so you're going to have to make other plans. Go ahead, John.
The Guardians decided to roll over and die yesterday against the Mets, falling 13-6. It's actually 6-5 through 6 innings, but New York scored 3 in the 7th and 4 in the 8th. The newly acquired Foster Griffin allowed 5 runs over 4 innings in a disappointing first start as a Guardian. The Guards are now tied with the Twins for second place, 3 games back of the White Sox. Coincidentally, the Guardians head to Chicago for a 3-game weekend series. If they get swept, the season is over. It's over. I don't care how many games are left.
You don't care that they came back from 15
Wait a minute,
and a half
if they
down
get
last
swept,
year.
it's hard to get swept in a series. I know it just
twice.
happened.
It's only happened twice this season. Both
It's
New York
hard.
teams.
So that would mean they lose 6 games in a row, John. You're really hanging them over the fence there, saying the season's over.
I mean, they would be 5 games under 500 at that point.
I know, I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, the season, I guess, would be over then. Could you imagine a week after they made 3 trades to add to this baseball team this season? No, they're winning tonight. Stop it. Stop.
Is it a must-win?
Yes. Yeah, you got to take 2 out of 3 here. You can't lose this series.
What if you lose today and you win the next 2?
That's fine. Okay, I mean.
So then tonight's not a must-win. Well, that.
2 out of 3.
Well, you're easily convinced. What an arguer you are.
You got to win 2 out of 3. You're objectively right.
Last year at this time, the Guardians were 6 games back in the Central Division.
I mean, you
yeah,
guys
but they were
watching
streaking though.
Yeah,
They were on their way back.
They're kind of rolling over and dying.
Well, they rolled over and died yesterday,
according to you.
According to John. John
You knew
said
who,
that.
Who rolled over and died right beside them?
Who?
Chicago White Sox.
You're right.
Yes, they did.
And also are dying.
Looks like an old
Who's
Civil
gonna
War
die
photo.
the least? You get to win the AL Central.
And you get to maybe have a bye.
Kenny compared it earlier in the show to a certain quarterback competition.
That's why you need to use the Rewind feature on the free Odyssey app, powered by Integrated Restoration, your local experts in water, fire, and storm disaster restoration, to find out what competition I compared them to. Go ahead, John.
On June 30th, it was announced that there was a deal in place for Kawhi Leonard to go back to Toronto in a trade. Well, he and the Clippers are still under investigation for trying to basically circumvent the salary cap. Originally, the investigation stemmed from owner Steve Ballmer investing $50 million into a company called Aspiration, who quietly turned around and signed Kawhi to a $28 million endorsement deal. While some alleged this was a no-show job, again, another way to circumvent the cap. Now the plot thickens. Kawhi Leonard reportedly had a sponsorship deal with Daktronics, the Clippers' scoreboard manufacturer. Okay? And journalist Pablo Torre broke the story on his podcast. Pablo Torre finds out. Here is what an anonymous high-level source under contract with the Intuit Dome had to say about the situation.
this was talked about just openly within the organization. Kawhi was a spokesperson for Daktronics. It was just openly joked about. It was 1,000% a way to circumvent the salary cap. They're not a company that you would see a celebrity endorser for. It wasn't coming out of their end that the Clippers were technically kind of funding it. It was funneling money from the Clippers through Daktronics back to Kawhi.
I did not do that. I did not change that audio.
That sounds like one of those cartel interviews that they do.
I beg you guys.
On Vice.
This brought me and probably only 7 of my friends to a show that was called Delocated on Adult Swim. Please, if you have some time, go back and watch this.
That was amazing.
It was, for me, laugh out loud.
I bet it's on Max. They got a lot, like, they got Boondocks on Max. They got Aqua Teen Hunger Force on Max. They got to have Delocated.
They got to have it.
You've seen the Boondocks and you haven't seen Friday Night Lights?
Wait a minute. You understand which Boondocks we're talking about. There's the Boondock Saints, and then there's the Boondocks.
The Adult Swim one, yeah, the cartoon one.
You would think I haven't seen the Boondocks?
Well, I'm saying you've seen the Boondocks and you haven't seen Friday Night Lights.
One other note.
What does that mean? Yeah, I think there'd be a lot of people who like the grittiness of the Boondocks and really, I don't need the pap of Friday Night Lights.
There is a chasm between John and his expectation of what we should have seen during a break.
Him blowing up at you.
The Trace McSorley meme song from how many years ago? He's like, you don't know this? Like, he almost lost his mind.
I did stop myself, though. I did stop myself.
John is so offended if you haven't seen something that he likes. Like when I said, what's that stupid movie, Project Runway?
Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, Project Hail Mary. I made 5 minutes in. Yeah, there's plenty of Oscars that I don't like. I made 5 minutes into it, I'm like, this ain't my type of... All right, top 3 things I don't like that John loves?
No, top 3 Oscars. But now, top 3 things that you hate about John. Let's go.
No, I like John a lot.
No.
Okay, top 3 things I hate about John.
Number 1, he has not reached the probationary period threshold.
Not good at answering phones, which is not a big thing.
How's the guest booking going?
That he freaks out if you don't like something he don't like. He has a tendency to freak out when you're giving him instruction, and then he just like runs out the door halfway through a sentence.
Can't keep his shoes on.
A lot of running.
Oh, yeah, he gets pinned in doorways somehow.
Never seen that. I mean, we're in a radio studio. You'd think he was in a car crash or there was a football skirmish that went on.
You suck, John.
By the way, Kawhi Leonard.
You're a fine young man.
I want a forced retirement.
Is he going to jail?
By Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. Just get him out of the NBA. I'm sick and tired of people talking about Kawhi Leonard. He barely plays. Like, I love how James Harden is the worst guy in NBA history when he actually plays. Harden plays. Like, you pay him the money and he plays. Might not play as well as you want him to in the playoffs all the time, but at least he plays.
I have a question.
Kawhi Leonard, I don't know if he's going to play.
Hold on.
And yet, people want to talk about him all the time.
Side question.
Get him out of the league.
If you were a Clipper fan, would you be upset with your owner?
That he tried to skirt the rules? I wonder if people are like, I love that my owner will do anything.
That's what I'm saying. Trying. I think that if you're a Clipper fan, you're like, hey, my owner's willing to do anything. And he's certainly just trying to pay Kawhi Leonard more money is much better than the last owner of the Clippers. Am I wrong?
I don't think you could be worse than the last owner.
Which also, I remember you and Nick Wilson doing one of the greatest things that's ever been done in the history of this radio station when you guys read the transcript of him and V. Stiviano. I was jealous that's how good that was with you and Nick.
You're doing the voices and everything.
It was so good.
I don't think I can even do that now. I'd get canceled.
Well, yeah, because you and Nick can't be in the same room. You can be on the same pitcher's mound.
We can be on the field together.
Win tickets in 6 minutes.
Forefront Field.
You can
coming up tonight.
Tickets to go see the fan night out at the Crushers. Nick will be there. Tone will be there. I will be there. I'll try not to throw out a first pitch. It's going to be a great time. Come on out. Is that it?
That's it for about last night.
Outstanding, John. You like Project Hail Mary that much?
I thought it was okay.
I didn't like it.
Not as good as what I was being told.
Halfway through, I thought to myself, this is the best movie I've ever seen.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
In all of cinema?
Yeah.
And you can access so many movies anytime you want.
All right, fine. Thank you, John. Coming up at 8:20, Daryl Ryder going to join us on the show. Is there a concern as big as quarterback? I think I found one, sadly. Nathan Zegura going to join us at 9. Coming in hot, 9:45. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. Coming up in 5 minutes, a $47 mistake that cost Lima and his toddler dearly that apparently I need to figure out what I would do. There is trouble a brewing in Bay. Coming up in 5 on The Fan.
everyone is either taken a pro Deshaun, which means you're anti-Shador, or vice versa.
This is what makes it so fun, though. It's like rooting for teams, almost. There's a game that's happening here. The game is Team Shador versus Team Watson. Everyone's chose a side, and there's a daily scoreboard, and we get to keep track of who actually wins this thing. And by the way, if Team Shador loses, then we get to go ahead and just say the game was rigged.
The Afternoon Drive. Weekdays starting at 2. We are Sports Radio 92.3 The Fan.
All right, your last chance. Enter the code HOME, HOME, 923thefan.com before 9 a.m. Your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to 92.3 The Fan Night with the Lake Erie Crushers. That is tonight, Forefront Field in Avon. Ken and I will be there along with Nick Wilson and a host of others taking over all the in-game fun, including the first pitch at 7 p.m. Cannot wait for this. LECrushers.com. We haven't been out and about in a while with our listeners, and it'll be great to partake. Cannot wait. We have plenty of tricks up our sleeve for tonight. It's going to be fun.
I got at least one. Nathan Zegura going to join us at 9. Daryl Ryder in just about 20 minutes. What?
Are you going to streak?
I can't run.
Are you?
I should wear a flesh-tone bodysuit.
You should dress up like Morgana the Kissing Bandit.
He's got the chest for it. Hey-o. All right. A $47 mistake. Do you want me to give you advice, or do you just want to know what I would do?
I want to know if you
want advice or what I would have done.
I want to know if you think I did the right thing. And tell me.
Okay, so it's just what I would have. Okay.
So we went to, in beautiful Bay Village, we went to the farmers market, whatever market they have every Thursday. And they have a lot of vendors there.
I've never been to a farmer's market.
Oh, Kenny,
I've been to the West Side Market a couple times.
Kids love it. They got cotton candy. We took
Is it like the
before
flea
and after
market?
Photos. You should have seen their face. Yeah, it's what it is. And
we used to go to the Rogers flea market back in the day. That was a kick-ass time.
yeah, kids love this kind of stuff.
Bootleg
and
clothes, bootleg CDs, bootleg food. It was great.
So
I don't know if it's still like that, but it was a good time back in the day.
So they had face painting, crafts, and then beer for, the parentals. So we're walking around, and my wife is always a couple seasons ahead or a season ahead in terms of knickknacks and whatever to furnish the home, to decorate the home or whatever. And we want to add to the Halloween fun.
Okay.
So this lady had her Halloween stuff up. She had these brooms that would look awesome, like on your door, like just little things like that, little creations. And I looked at that. That was $27. I'm like, all right. So we're thinking, well, we might need to walk around, think about it before, and then come back and see if we want it because we don't want to carry it around. Mason goes right up to this other thing that she had, which was like a witch face, whatever, kind of a scary thing. I was surprised he even approached it. And he took the nose right off. Took the nose right off. It was not very secured.
Okay.
But it was a half a second. I couldn't get.
Thing cost $47. Oh, you had to buy it.
That one was $47. And Sarah's like, "Oh, can't you just put it back like the nose?" No, it's busted. Yeah, you could glue it, which is probably what she had done. And so Sarah's like, "Can't you just kind of glue it back?" And the woman's like, "Oh my!" Like the horror.
Oh, jeez.
And so I go, "Here we go. I'm just gonna take the wallet out. Yeah. Take the card. Here you go. We'll take it. It wasn't what we wanted."
She overreacted because she wanted you to buy it. That's one thing.
Yes,
but that's okay. That's all right. She wants her money.
Easiest purchase this woman's ever had. $46.
Did you take a picture of the thing? I thought it was a $47 thing.
47.
Well,
yeah.
if it's only 46, it's no big deal. But 47,
might
I'm
have
gonna
been a
whoop
tax
his ass.
on that. Might have been 51 when all is said and done, actually.
Well, 51's definitely an ass whooping in the Carman household when I was growing up.
But Mason's 2.5. Like he doesn't even understand. He would do it tomorrow. There's no lesson here. He would go up and do the same thing tomorrow. It's up for me to get in the way.
What? So what? It's not a mask? Is it a mask?
It's just something you would put up either on your porch.
A decoration.
Decoration.
It's Halloween stuff?
Yeah. And we'll use it.
So he went up and
but we don't like it.
So it's supposed to be outside and he just went up and took the nose off?
It came right off.
Well, then it's not going to hold up for an entire
hanging
fall.
by a thread.
It's not going to hold up for an entire winter Halloween season. Spooky season starts in just a few weeks, guys. I mean,
that's why they're out at the farmers markets now. You could have just went to the sign maker next door and had them make now with removable nose sign and put that right on there.
Labor Day weekend is when Jack Skeleton goes up in my house. So
I can't wait.
Or in my front yard, I should say. I can't put them up in my house. I don't have 14-foot ceilings, but
vault those things.
Now, every year, does it get a little more vulnerable with the pack up and?
I'm very careful, but with every year, you're going to have probably something that happens in transit that probably makes it less functional. Like, I don't think last year was year 3 with him. His head is not moving the way I want his head to move now.
You got to get your Jack Skellington heads lubed up.
Yeah, moving around.
Lube them up.
I'll figure that out.
I would say this is an opportunity. You did it. You paid the money, whatever. You did what you had to do.
I just thought it was the easiest
I personally
way.
would have just yelled run, and we would have all gotten in the car and left. But
Mason's got a good gate. I like the gate.
The one good thing that you can get now, you're going to have to take care of it. You're going to have to put it up for a few years. And every time you go past it, you can just
remind
go, hey,
him.
Yeah, go, hey, remember that time when you were, because he doesn't remember it and he's not going to remember it. Just have to keep reinforcing. I had to spend $47 on your
Let me tell you something. If I would have done that, if that would have been my parents, the belt would have come out. And again, you're not going to get a 2.5-year-old to understand.
How many catalytic converters would your dad had to steal to make up that $47?
He'd have been working nights and weekends.
Oh, my goodness.
Make that Kevin Catalytic statue that he always wanted.
They can't really take him during the day, so I guess it would always be nights. But either way, it's a costly lesson that it's a lesson I have to learn because it's my fault. I should have been right next to him, but I love the fact that at this age I didn't have to be right next to him because he doesn't fall over like he did because of his center of gravity. Well, this sucks. If I'm telling you, if that had happened, part of me wonders if I should have said, hey, because she didn't know that we were going to buy the other item. She had no idea. So what I should have said is if I would have had time to collect my thoughts, like, hey, can you just glue that back? We'll buy this. We'll buy this right now.
You're
we'll take
in
it
a
off your hand.
negotiation area where this is not retail. You didn't go into a store, so you definitely could. The price is not always the price, right? And you could have negotiated. Hey, I was going to buy this other thing. Here's, if the other thing was $20 and this was $47, whatever. Here's, $60, maybe $50,
get them
whatever.
both.
He's right. But if it's retail, like if I'm going to a brick and mortar store that's like a company or something, I ain't paying for nothing. You ain't paying. I'm not paying for that. If I'm Mason's dad, hell no.
They have spillage.
No.
They have
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They also have 5 of those witches on the shelf. So they don't just have the one that they painstakingly crafted.
You know what I will say? There was some. You want to talk about I'm annoyed about the whole thing. There is a power to just pulling out your credit card and ending an awkward situation.
You are also in Bay, right? So it's different. If you're in Painesville, maybe we're just taking off. But you do have to at least try to keep your reputation in town.
Yeah, that woman lives right down the road in the neighborhood.
When are you going to see him again? So you are actually going to decorate for Halloween?
Oh, I don't do any of that. No, she does.
She does? Yeah. She likes Halloween.
Oh, she loves it.
Sarah Ono likes Halloween.
And we live 2 streets down.
You're not so different after all.
Oh, right.
She is.
You should when their powers combine.
Anthony every day. You both love Halloween.
And we have a street.
Disappointed in the things that he does.
Oh, and we have a street in our neighborhood that is
Blame
like the news comes. The news comes and
Town,
checks it out. Yeah.
I can't believe she likes Halloween.
Loves it.
It's my favorite holiday. It's very surprising for another reason I can't tell you on the air. But I could, but it would be, it's a Friday and I'm not getting flamethrowed for the rest of the afternoon and weekend. That's not going to happen. I'm very surprised because she seems to be pretty uptight about Halloween and those type of things. She would strike me as somebody, I should say, who would be uptight about Halloween and those sort of things. Are you going to get the company to come out and decorate your front porch?
Oh,
Don't you have that local company that'll come out and decorate your front porch?
I remember we did that on the air last year.
That video was the cat's ass, though. I mean, if you got the money, that looked good. Is Joe Thomas our Bernie Kosar? You know why? George Warhop said this yesterday about Joe Thomas being at camp.
If any of those guys can talk to Joe, it's a great resource. Joe was the ultimate pro, great work ethic, great study habits, fantastic notes, could watch tape. My last couple years here, he and Alex Mack would split the room and watch tape with him, and so guys could understand how they watch tape. And if I'm an lineman here and I'm a tackle here and I don't reach out to Joe, I'm a dumbass. Okay.
At least Joe at some point, I do believe, will coach football. I'm not sure at what juncture it will be or what level it will be. If it's high school in Wisconsin, if it's college, if it's pro, I think that Joe will coach football at some point. He loves the game. I know he's got a lot going on. I do think at some point he'll do it. That pointed out why I don't want him to become our version of Bernie. What's our version of Bernie? We're talking about 15 years on the Fan here, coming up on August 29th. When this station first started, how many calls do we get every day during a Browns season about Bernie being GM, about Bernie being on the coaching staff?
They were bad, and Bernie's football intellect had been universally praised.
Not that it was a bad idea. It's not a bad idea because Bernie knows what he's talking about. The whole concept, though, you knew that they weren't going to do it. You knew that Randy Lerner wasn't going to do it, so it didn't really matter. So you got annoyed by the calls of something that we knew really wasn't going to happen. Now, Joe, that would be a possibility, obviously. But I don't want him to turn into, well, things are going bad with the offensive line. We just need to call Joe, and Joe needs to be the offensive line coach. Like, he's got a lot of things going on with the business and the farm and everything. I don't want him to turn, because I don't know how good the offensive line is going to be. George Warhop is only going to be able to get him so far. I got a bunch of different faces. Like, one of the questions I have to ask Daryl, who's our starting center week 1 right now? To his eyes. I got to ask Nathan, who would be your 5 up front? And I'll ask him this at 9. Who would be your 5 up front to protect Watson or Shedeur Sanders? I mean, we've already had a call today about protecting Shedeur Sanders because of the offensive line and the questions that they have. I don't want to turn Joe into Bernie Kosar if the season doesn't go well and it's just, well, we got to bring Joe in here. Why won't Joe come back? Why won't Joe come down here and coach this offensive lineup? What's going on? Like, I don't want that to happen. That's all I'm pointing at.
I'll tell you, though, like, because of guys like, in San Francisco, the name's escaping me right now, John Lynch, we've had Mike Mayock. Crazier things have happened, right? Like, now you can envision in sports things that, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, you would have thought was absolutely crazy.
Lynch has been successful, but he's done it with Kyle Shanahan. Yeah. Mike Mayock was not successful. Other guys have been out and out disasters when they've tried it in their own works and doing it. Wayne Gretzky trying to be a head coach of a hockey team. Well, Larry Bird worked out, but I don't know if it's the best way to just go about this stuff. Coming up at 9, I told you, Nathan Zagura going to join us on the show. Is there a concern as big as QB? I think I found one. I'll discuss it with Daryl Ryder. Well, Tone and I will discuss it with Daryl Ryder coming up in 5 minutes on The Fan. K&K Heating and Cooling, KNKHeatingandCooling.com. If there is ever an emergency, I want you to remember K&K Heating and Cooling, because when you lose your AC in the hot, sticky part of the summertime, you're going to need K&K Heating and Cooling. If you lose that furnace,
o'clock. Carolina wins the preseason opener. Arizona rookie quarterback Carson Beck got the start as he would go 15 of 19, 188 yards and a touchdown. Get all the latest Browns content filtered right to your phone during training camp by following the Browns playlist and 92.3 The Fan on the Odyssey app. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 92.3 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Somebody told Tone they wouldn't have displayed things where toddlers can reach them. That's a hell of a point by that person. Well done.
It was right there in the wheelhouse, yeah.
Bring in Daryl Ryder. And Daryl is brought to you by
Shibe Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
I like to display things where Daryl can reach them. Hello, Daryl.
Hello, boys.
Oh, Daryl, you sound down in the dumps. What's the matter, bud?
They closed camp to the public today.
Yeah, because of the weather. The weather's bad. Lima almost died twice on his way in. Yeah, he told the story. It was a harrowing tale. He was almost late.
Hellacious. Huh?
Yes. So it's for their own good. It's for their own safety.
I'm glad Lima was able to make it into work safely, and hopefully everyone else does as well.
Yeah, because if he dies, I got to do the show with you, and that's just not going to happen.
Nobody wants that.
Well, you would. You're better than a lot of other people. I mean, Jason just puts his feet up there and half-ass the entire show. So I'm being honest. Am I being wrong? Top 3 people I want to do the show with.
When Lima dies.
When Lima dies?
Yeah, not if. When.
You.
Oh, nice.
Bet you didn't see that one coming. Nice. You, Daryl.
Chris Fedor.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, sorry, Owen. He goes to the top of the list. Chris, you, Daryl. Sorry, okay. Daryl. You're still in that top 3.
I get the bronze.
I have hopes for Padone. Padone is a lot of fun, it seems. But we didn't get to have fun that day. I forget something happened. We had to keep hard news today. All right, Daryl. So I'm going to ask you about the quarterbacks here in a bit. You know what I'm more concerned with? I'm more concerned with some of the injuries. I saw their first padded practice earlier this week. It wasn't like hamburger meat like we saw with Hugh Jackson and his first padded practice years and years ago.
Right.
They're trying to make sure everybody is healthy because I think he almost said Hugh Jackson. I think Todd Monken knows that, hey, it might be a team that's up and coming a little bit with some of the guys, but it's still a team that needs talent. We need to make sure that talent's going to be out there in the field come week 1.
Yeah, they had 16 guys not practice yesterday. Of the notable names, players that will not only make the team but are expected to have an impact this year. Miles Bryant, no Carson Schlesinger. Mike Hall Jr. was out again. Elton Jenkins, that's your starting center. Tevin Jenkins. Sam Kamara, we're still waiting to find out whether or not he's going to need surgery. He was carted off early in a practice earlier this week. And then, Mason Graham, who's just been gangbusters here early in camp. He missed another practice. And then also Malik Collins banged up. So not real crazy about the condition of the front seven from a health standpoint, but better, safe and sorry right now. But, it is kind of part of training camp. This is what you see just about every year with guys getting nicked up. Todd Monken's pretty honest when it comes to answering questions, with one exception, and that's injuries. He doesn't like talking about injuries. So not a whole lot of detail on some of those guys. But, I think Sam Kamara is really the one that you have to really, really worry about because he was carted off the field. And Monken was unable to tell us if he was going to have surgery or not. But, 16 guys out. Not able to practice is obviously not great.
All right, Daryl, did you read anything on the reps yesterday, what they might signify for the quarterbacks in this competition as the install has come to a close?
Well, Dylan Gabriel got a few more, it looked like, and we knew that was coming because Todd Monken told us that it was going to come because he had been doing well early in camp and showing development, showing progress, and so I'm not going to read a whole lot into them. I will starting today because now the installation is done now I think the real grading of the quarterbacks can begin, because the focus for the most part in practice will shift towards more scheme-related stuff and getting themselves ready for not only their first preseason game but first regular season game come September 13th. So I think now really, because it's been every other day with Shedeur and Deshaun as far as alternating first-team reps with those guys, or the bulk of the first-team reps with those guys, I think now we really start paying attention to who's out there and what they're doing when they're out there, because there was a series of 11-on-11 reps yesterday where I noticed Shedeur was just turning and handing the ball off. They spent a lot of time yesterday working on the running game. Then Deshaun gets in there, and then, yes, Deshaun was handing the ball off, but also Deshaun was doing some play-action stuff too. And that caught my eye because it was the same series of drill, if you will. So that did catch my attention, but try not to read too much into it. Today we'll start reading into some stuff because, again, installs are over, and now it's about preparing for the season.
The Dangerous One, Daryl Ryder, brought to you on this show right now. Daryl, okay, so if it were week one, who would you start at quarterback right now?
I'd start Shedeur Sanders. I'm still firm in that. I would rather go with the guy that continues to show progress, that has come a long way, still has room to grow. Not a finished product by any stretch of the imagination. Still has a lot of things he needs to refine with his game. But I think there's more to benefit the Browns long term by going with Shedeur in week one because of the progress he's made. I mean, night and day improvement from the spring to what we're seeing now with him. And but I don't think that that's what the Browns are going to do.
Well,
my God, how bad was he before, Daryl? Jeez, if this is night and day, how bad was he before?
I mean, I don't think it's about how bad he was. Here's and I've said this repeatedly about him, that he is basically getting a crash course in quarterbacking these last 2 years and doing a lot of things that he's never been asked to do. Todd Monken is asking him to do a lot of things that Kevin Stefanski wasn't asking him to do last year. You got to forget last year's offense because now that no longer matters, and you're learning a whole new playbook. And this is a guy who's never had to learn a playbook. And in his first 2 years, he's had to learn these two big, gargantuan size playbooks. That's a lot for a player that's not been exposed to that experience. And so I think you give a little latitude and understanding there. I thought last year, while, yes, there were as many bad moments for him during those 7 starts as there were good moments, I think he's at his best when he's doing a little freelancing and things break down. He just has that natural instinct and that natural ability. We had a couple of games we saw last year toward the end where he had the Browns in it. Now, they didn't end up winning those games, but they came close, and it was because of Shedeur Sanders there. So I think that he has come a long way, and there's just more upside to putting him on the field in week one than just trotting Deshaun Watson out there trying to bleed anything out of what's left on his contract.
Daryl, is Todd Monken being realistic when he says this is not a rebuild? I have a galaxy brain way that he's not, or that he is being realistic, I should say.
Yeah, I think this is a retool or a rebuild, however you want to describe it. They've had a significant infusion of young talent through the draft the last couple of years. Andrew Berry's had some first and second round picks to work with. On the surface right now, it appears he's used them very, very well. And the players he has selected are having tremendous positive impact on the team. I would call that certainly a rebuild. Now, it has not been an asset acquisition rebuild. And I think, Ken, when we talk rebuilds, that's usually where our focus and our thoughts lean towards, right? They're collecting draft picks, they're collecting assets and cap space and setting themselves up to, in a year or two, do something with all of that. Similar to what they did in 2014, 2015, and 2016 when they burned it down to the studs and started from scratch. And we all suffered through that 4-44 stretch that they went through, right? So this rebuild is a little different, and it's not been asset accumulation driven. It has been young, talented player driven. And obviously Exhibit A of that was the Myles Garrett trade, where you could have gotten a lot of assets for Myles Garrett. Instead, you got assets, yes, but you also got a tremendous young player in Jared Verse who's going to be able to come in and positively impact your defense, your pass rush. He's not Myles Garrett 2.0, shouldn't expect him to be, but he's going to be an impactful player for you. And so I think that's the lens with which I look at this right now. I think it's more of a retool than a rebuild based on just how Andrew Berry has made this about young players and not asset and salary cap acquisition, because they're still spending a lot of money. Look at the contract extensions for Grant Delpit and Denzel Ward. If this was a full-fledged rebuild, would have sold those players off instead of extending them.
Daryl, I brought this up yesterday. I want to see what you think. Do you believe that Jared Verse's leadership is worth more than Myles Garrett's sacks and stats in 2026?
Yes, I do. And here's why. And I actually was having this conversation this week with a few folks, and they all told me I was nuts because of what Myles Garrett was doing as far as not only compiling the stats, but just, on the field and his impact. And I said, well, I always fall back to that New England game. Yeah, Myles Garrett had tremendous impact in that game. He had 5 sacks, numerous pressures, got after the quarterback with regularity. It didn't matter. They lost by 3 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so and a lot of it had to do with a very incomplete offense. That side of the roster was not in good shape. It's in better shape today than it was. But I kind of feel like the Browns are better off today with Jared Verse, as crazy as that sounds, because Myles Garrett is a future Hall of Fame player. I think Andrew Berry made the right decision there. It's a tough decision to make, and it's one that if Jared Verse does not turn into the player that I think he's going to, and then, obviously Andrew's going to be criticized for it, just like he's still criticized to this day for the Deshaun Watson trade and some other roster moves that have not worked out. But if he does, I think that, from a longevity standpoint, I think the Browns could very much be better off with Jared Verse than Myles Garrett, because once their contention window hits, he's still going to be in his mid-20s, whereas Myles Garrett would have been 31, 32, 33 years old.
Do you have any reason to believe that the stuff that Denzel Boston is doing on a snap-by-snap basis is not going to translate to the actual real regular season games?
No. He is incredible to watch. It is a lot of fun to watch him go to work day in and day out. And the impact, and I have to throw Casey Concepcion in here too, Anthony, because he's been outstanding as well. But, those two guys are absolutely impossible to miss at Browns practice. And I can't remember the last time, I guess maybe Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry, the last time I was this excited about a pair of Browns wide receivers. And they should, whoever the quarterback is, whether it's Deshaun, Shador, Dylan Gabriel, maybe Tate Green, but whoever the quarterback is, these two young receivers should be able to help that quarterback tremendously.
Daryl, thank you very much. We'll talk to you next week as we get ready for the Bears and actually showing something in front of the fans.
Yeah, that should be a good time.
What, are you being sarcastic, Daryl?
I watched the Hall of Fame game last night, Ken.
Okay, Daryl. What's the matter with that? What's the matter with that? Everybody sits there and they're all excited that football's back, and then you guys all get sarcastic when we see the Hall of Fame game. I'm a defender of the Hall of Fame game.
The difference is Todd Monken, we will see Brown starters quite a bit, I think, here in the preseason. He wants to make sure they're ready to play September 13th in Jacksonville, and frankly, I like that idea.
Daryl, it was a hot time. Thank you very much.
You bet, guys. Have a great weekend.
Make sure you catch Daryl Ryder and Lance Reisland's daily Browns training camp recaps on 92.3 The Fan's YouTube page. Daryl and Coach Reisland, they're going to break down all the stories from each day's practice and, of course, your daily QB competition updates. And you can catch the recap each night on Overtime with Jake Volnick at 8:40. So subscribe to 92.3 The Fan's YouTube page right now. Nathan Zagura, 9:01, coming in hot, 9:43. Todd Monken says this isn't a rebuild. He's absolutely right. I'll tell you why in 5 on The Fan. Window Nation at windownation.com. I'll tell you why right now you need to go with Window Nation. Because right now at Window Nation, you're getting 50% off. Now, that's great. And you're getting zero money down, zero payment, zero interest for 2 years. That's fantastic as well. But what you also get is peace of mind. Peace of mind of knowing that you're buying a quality product. Peace of mind of knowing that you are getting the very best when it comes to service. Because
92.3 The Fan and see if our hosts make your reaction a part of our shows. Powered by Scheiben Jewelers, Cleveland's premier jewelry store.
Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders. The Browns QB battle is back. We're your home for training camp and preseason coverage. The radio home of the Cleveland Browns. 92.3 The Fan.
Here it is. This is your ball game. 2 seconds left to go. What should be the final play of the ball game. From the 5-yard line. King takes the snap. Has a little time. Now scrambling ahead. He's going to try to run for it. He dives for the end zone. Touchdown! Haynes King scrambles into the end zone with all zeros on the clock.
Scott Graham, Westwood One.
Barbasol.
Testicles caught in a car door.
Incredible there at the end. A walk-off in the Hall of Fame game. What a way to usher in a new football season.
Yep. Fun play.
Did you watch much?
I listened to the beginning, and I thought it was interesting, and I brought this up to Owen, and then Owen noticed it. I listened to the beginning of it with Scott Graham. And they started doing an interview with Drew Brees, and there was just no play-by-play. It was just a football show.
That was it.
An interview with Drew Brees. So, like, every now and then, it's like, all right, earlier we had a penalty, and the Panthers are across the 30, and then they would go right back to the interview. Like, there was no stopping between, and why would there be? It's the Hall of Fame game, and you have Hall of Famers there, and people are more interested in Drew Brees than they are about the players playing in the Hall of Fame game. However, that said, I thought it was nice for Haynes King. Thought it was nice for him. Thought it was obviously a fun game for Carson Beck. That was fun too, wouldn't you say?
I mean, what about Slovis, 9 of 10?
Keaton Slovis was great. Good for him.
And even Kenny Pickett.
What about Slobodan Milosevic?
What I say?
I don't think he cracked the rotation.
No, you don't want to do that. What about Kenny Pickett?
The glove. Didn't you say he ditched?
Well, he used to have 2 gloves. Now he throws with only 1 glove, but it's not his throwing hand.
Is that in honor of Michael Jackson with the movie that came out?
You'll have to ask him. I have no idea.
So anyway, I thought to myself, every year, the first preseason game coincides with me being at my buddy's place, Grandma Corky's over at the Feast.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch maybe the first half and then lose interest very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, because of our quarterback competition, I mean, I'm still going to be there at the Feast, but, you know, this is going to be a serious affair. And I thought, if we had any of those theatrics, let's say Shedeur Sanders,
there's not a chance.
Touchdown.
I disagree with you totally.
What do you mean?
You just told the biggest lie you've ever said on the radio.
Do you know how crazy people would go if Shedeur Sanders
That's not it.
had a walk-off touchdown?
That's not it. You will not be locked in on that, even if you're going to the Feast. You will be half-assed at best locked in on Shedeur Sanders playing if you go to the Feast.
What do you mean?
Because you're one of the greatest social butterflies I've ever met. You don't. First off, you call it a feast. You never eat when you're out and about. That's one of the things I hate about going out and about with you, because you never make time for it. It sucks. That part sucks.
It's not lying.
I just don't understand how you could boo. It's like Don Draper. Like, he never eats a meal. He just drinks and does other things. And so you very rarely get a chance to get out. That's all you do is bitch that you don't get a chance to get out. So, no, you will go to the Feast, and you won't pay a damn bit of attention to that football game.
How am I not going to pay attention to this? This is all we've been talking about.
The only way you will pay attention is if I shame you into it publicly. So that's what I'm going to have to do. So Jim and Rossitron and everybody else over there, the Morans, all the Morans, they're going to have to make sure you watch it, because you won't watch it. You will not watch that game. And I will be in here, and I will accuse you of things, and so I got to make sure you watch it, because I'm going to be watching it. It's your job to watch that game, especially with all the things you say about Shedeur.
What do I say about Shedeur?
Do we really want to go over all this? It's really towards his fan base. It's not really towards Shedeur.
Yeah, it's not it. Like the things I've noticed.
But you've said so many things that are tongue-in-cheek.
Well, you got to have some fun.
Have done so many things on the internet with them that they expect you to watch. Well, they expect you to do what I just said that you were going to do, half-assed it, and then say nasty things about Shedeur that aren't actually true. But I need to hold you to a standard. It's time for you to watch that damn game instead of doing bebopping and scatting all over the Feast.
And it seems like Todd Monken's been harsher on the quarterbacks during camp than we have.
When you're ending periods early and things like that, then yeah. I know it would be fun for Shador fans. Why would it not? We're in a quarterback battle. If he were to run a touchdown in at the end,
would they not say? It's funny because I don't know what the conversation is after the Hall of Fame game in Carolina. Whatever they're talking about. Nick Wilson used to do the shows out there at Spartanburg, right?
Yeah.
I imagine, though, if that were to happen in Cleveland, it would be quarterback competition has ended. Todd Monken, please announce tomorrow that Shador Sanders is the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. That's really not how preseason works, though, right?
I know that's not how preseason works, but it's still something I would want.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the way we've talked about it, we want somebody to emerge. I was just telling Owen, it's so funny because every year when I'm at the feast, it was Jason Campbell one year. Another year, it was Jake Delhomme. I think even Brandon Whedon. You said DeShone Kizer.
Kizer had one of the all-time preseasons that led to
he had a great one. Season. He had a great one.
And then they went 0-16.
I mean, you're going to act like that, then what the hell's the point?
It was one of Ken's favorite preseasons ever.
I think we have audio.
Now you gave me the perfect springboard into what I'm about to say. Thank you so much. Don't go looking for it. I just want to keep moving. I know I said that preseason mattered, and they were 4-0 because it's still the truth. And Hugh Jackson and I don't even like each other, and it doesn't matter because what he was trying to do was actually what you were supposed to do.
Imagine, Owen, if that team had Jared versus leadership in a 4-0 preseason.
No, because you had a young football team at that time with a bunch of unproven guys, and none of them actually got to be proven for the most part. I hate to say that because some of them are still local, but basically none of them got to be proven to that point. So you have a bunch of guys that need to learn how to win. Yeah, it was important to win in those preseason games, damn it. I said that 10 years ago, and I say that 10 years later, because you got to get guys to taste winning, to play for each other, to try to build some sort of a culture, because you don't have a lot of talent on that football team. Now, when Todd Monken says that this isn't a rebuild, I ain't going to let you play it. I'm just going to keep talking. When Todd Monken says that this isn't a rebuild,
for the morale of the football team, for the morale of the fan base, even though some people think I'm shouting into the wind, and that's fine. Yes, 4-0 matters. You got to teach them to win. You got to teach them to get that feeling. Where hopefully, yes, we will become a team where this becomes old hat. But it absolutely means something now. And I have a great feeling about where this team is headed.
And now my mic's on.
Yeah, it was always on.
Whatever I meant when I said 10 years ago, I mean it now. Because anybody who's trying to put together a football team, and Owen knows that he just likes to make me upset because he knows that was the right way to do things. When Todd Monken says it ain't a rebuild, and Lima rolls his eyes as he goes over to the feast and doesn't pay attention to the Browns. It's true. It can't be a rebuild of Todd Monken because that means that he's just a placeholder, which he may very well be. But some of the stuff that's been said about Todd Monken is patently ridiculous. I told you, to sit here and have to have a conversation, and it got brought up regrettably, could it be one and done? It's absolutely ghoulish. He hasn't even had a preseason game yet. And so when Todd Monken's talking about this isn't a rebuild, you're damn right he can't think it's a rebuild because you can waste no time. And it didn't matter if he's 30 years old like Sean McVay was when he took over or if he's 60 years old. Sean McVay, if he would have sucked up the room, his career could have been completely derailed. So I don't want to hear anything about, he's not facing reality, he's not facing facts. Fine, I'll sit here and I'll say it the whole time. What Todd Monken is saying is true. To him and to his football team, he has to make sure it's not a rebuild because we can't just be sitting there okay with making all these mistakes throughout the season and losing. So if that sounds to you like the preseason mattering in 2016, then yeah, fine, to hell with you. Or I should say 2017. 2 days in a row, you got me to say to hell with you to somebody. Turn your mic on.
Cleveland Pound says fat guy gets angry for people not eating.
Well, that's the point of it, is that I'm with him, and I would like to have something to nibble on at least, and I get nothing out of it.
It's just a tough thing to do. You're standing,
no, it's
and
not.
now I got to hold
plus
stop
it's
the conversation.
Plus absolutely stand and hold a slice of pizza.
Cleveland
Come
Pound,
on.
turn his mic off. Plus Cleveland Pound, let me tell you this. It's very easy for him to not eat when he's been skiing the entire day.
Wait, hold on a second.
When only one of us has been on the slopes, one of us ends up being hungry.
Sometimes I get full quicker.
No rebuttal. Thank God for Bernie last year at Columbus Day, or I'd still be starving.
He did make sure that we got our Sammys.
These were great Sammys. He bought those Sammys, too.
Very nice.
Thanks to Bernie. Not Kozar. I mean, he'd buy them, too, but I'm talking about your father-in-law. You're not, by the way, you're not throwing a rebuttal. You're just liking me getting upset. I love this. But they're going to defend you for what? Not watching the preseason game?
I'm going to be locked in.
No,
No,
you're
I
not.
will be locked
no, you're
in.
Not.
I promise.
No, you won't. You won't be. You will not be locked in.
Till the rigatoni comes out.
I told you. The Cavatels. He's
so
going to be
good.
paying closer attention to the Cavatels than he's going to be Shedeur Sanders'
And
play-action
rolled.
passes.
Amazing.
Lord Almighty. Nathan Zagura. He has boots on the ground. Well, he got ripped last week, too, saying that he said Shedeur needs to get in and out of the huddle. And Nathan took it on the chin. We're all taking our turns here.
You got the wrath.
Coming in hot at 9:45, Nathan Zagura, Browns color commentator on the radio. Who would he start right now at quarterback? And who would he start on the offensive line? Because who's protecting these guys is equally as important in a year like this. Ken Carman, Anthony Lima on the Fan.
Get over to 923thefan.com or favorite 923 The Fan on the Odyssey app for all today's headline segments. Headline sports news every 20 minutes right here on 923 The Fan. From the University Hospital Sports Desk, I'm Jeff Thomas.
Hey Browns fans, this is Denzel Ward. Keep up with the latest football news every 20 minutes with exclusive 2020 reports on the radio home of the Cleveland Browns, 92.3 The Fan.
Let's go live to the South. On the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, Call Kyle Right hotline. Nathan Zagura from out of state, still doing the hit. We appreciate it. Nathan, thank you so much. Good morning
man,
to you.
It is good to be with you. Yeah, good morning to you, Ken. Good to be with you guys. And, I got a little bit better weather, it sounds like, than back home right now.
Who do you think's had a better week? Has it been Shedeur Sanders or Deshaun Watson? Or if you want to say Dylan Gabriel, go ahead and throw him in there.
And if you want to call the competition now, go ahead.
Yes, that's fine.
I'm not going to call the competition now. I think that I don't know. You could say somebody's had a better week. This has kind of been my read on it the whole time is that, Deshaun Watson has been the best from the operation standpoint. Everything that happens before the ball is snapped. Shedeur's made great progress, and it's easy to see over the course of the camp. Dylan Gabriel also has been very good in that operation standpoint. Once the ball has been snapped, I think Shedeur's been the most consistent of the quarterbacks, and thus you would say then the best. Whereas Deshaun has been a little bit more up and down. A couple of days ago, he had that great day where you were like, wow, this is what we've been waiting for. But you need those to stack. You need those to become the trend rather than the outlier. So I think it is way too early to call it. I think that for Shedeur, if he focuses on narrowing the gap and everything that happens before the ball is snapped, I think that he has a very good chance to end up being the starter. I think if Deshaun continues to have those, more days like that once the ball is snapped, then he has a very good chance to be the starter. I think it's still too early to call. And I think Dylan Gabriel has really cemented the fact that, what a lot of people have thought, he's done a better job of keeping his eyes down the field. He's done a better job of pushing the ball down the field. That this is a guy who's going to be in the league for a long time. And, probably at some point he'll be a starter somewhere, kind of like a Colt McCoy or a Case Keenum, but this is going to be a long-term and successful backup in the NFL, and I think that's kind of been the reviews of Dylan so far. So you can't call anything. They both have had their moments. And again, I think Shedeur's been the most consistent once the ball is snapped, which is, by the way, when the game of football is played. But as we know, the emphasis Todd Monken places on the operation and getting in and out of the huddle and doing the things that avoid what he would call, bad football. That's where Deshaun has been a little bit better.
All right, Nathan, if you could, without worrying about feeling the wrath of a certain fan base, can you tell us the good and bad of both these quarterbacks and what you've been able to distinguish between the two of them?
Yeah, so I think I laid it out kind of in that opening answer, but I would say for Deshaun, the high-level stuff is still very high level, and the arm looks very good. It looks very live. Unfortunately, the accuracy has been inconsistent, and then the play from day to day has been inconsistent. And I think initially, after some of those early interceptions, he got a little bit gun-shy. Shedeur has done a great job of pushing the ball down the field all camp long. He's done a good job of kind of layering his throws in, and when he throws with touch, he's thrown some beautiful, beautiful balls. I think for Shedeur, it's still kind of speeding up that process, getting the ball out a little bit quicker and more on time consistently. But both have had, honestly, I think, for what you were expecting out of them, I think that you need, as I said, more consistency from Deshaun, but the high-level stuff, the stuff that's tantalized and says, oh, yeah, this is the guy who led the league in passing in 2020. We saw glimpses. We need to see much more than glimpses. And then with Shedeur, he just continues to improve. And so that's good. And his ability, as I said, to really layer the ball in down the field and make some of the tight window throws, I think has been very impressive as well.
All right. This is a different question, but still of the same mode. Who would you start across your offensive line right now if you had a game this Sunday?
That is a tough one. I think that, Spencer Fano was drafted to be your left tackle, so I'm going to put him at left tackle. Zion Johnson's your left guard. I think we still have to see, can Brailsford or can Whippler win that center job, which would push, over to right guard. It would push Elton Jenkins. Now, Elton Jenkins has not played right guard, and I think that's something that should be noted. Yes, he is a two-time Pro Bowl guard, but that was as a left guard. The only time he's ever played right guard, I believe, was in a preseason game years ago in Green Bay. So I don't know that that's perfectly set in stone. So if he's more comfortable at center, you play him at center. And then at right guard, KT Leviston has been in there the most recently. Tevin Jenkins has been dealing with an injury. Titus Howard's at right tackle. Now, Titus Howard, I know there's been some talk or people have been speculating, could they move Titus Howard into right guard where he's played, put DeWand over there at right tackle? Because DeWand's had, I think, by and large, a pretty good camp. Yes, there are some reps where Jared Verse has gotten the best of him, but that's to be expected. But I think by and large, he has had a good camp, and the goal is going to be to get the best 5 guys out there. What that looks like, I really don't know. I do think ultimately the two things that you know for sure, 100% in stone, I think will be Fano at left tackle and Zion Johnson at left guard. I think it's pretty close to pen that Titus Howard will be your right tackle, and then there's still work to do on the interior of that line.
Nathan Zagura with us right now on the hotline. So much has been talked about Jared Verse, how he has truly become a leader, like on day one.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention he's blowing up practice because he's been so electric. What are your reasonable expectations for Verse at this stage?
And Jared Verse in the last, edition of the NFL's Top 100 was player number 35. He's been a Pro Bowler both of his seasons in the league with the Defensive Rookie of the Year. I think that it is a reasonable expectation that he will be a Pro Bowler once again. I think that, he's going to obviously, you want his sack numbers to come up. That's what people look at. But I think he's going to be disruptive. I think he's going to be one of the best, six edge defenders in the NFL. And he is going to be an absolute leader for this team and a culture force. And that's one of the things that's just been so apparent. You saw the way Todd Monken was gushing about him working with Spencer Fano after practice. Jared Verse has come in and been a leader. Also, Quincy Williams has come in and been a very vocal leader at the second level and has had a great camp in his own right. But I think the expectation is that Jared Verse, we have not seen the best of Jared Verse in his career, and he's still been really, really good. I think the best is yet to come. And I think the reason that, I'm sure you guys saw the clips of Trent McDuffie talking about it from the Rams' perspective. That to me speaks volumes. This was a team that just acquired the best non-quarterback in the sport, a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, the best, all-time sack leader in terms of single season, the best sack getter in Browns history, an automatic first ballot gold jacket, Myles Garrett, and they needed an hour to go through their feelings about losing Jared Verse. That to me says the respect of your peers and then the ability to back it up on the field. Jared Verse, I think, is going to be one of those guys that when we move into the new facility, the new indoor Huntington Bank Field in 2029, his picture is going to be all over that, banners all over it, and people are going to be thrilled that he's, one of the leaders and cornerstones of this Cleveland Browns franchise.
We got the great one, Nathan Zagura, joining us here on the Wise Heart Right. We make it right. Call Kyle Wright hotline. All right, we got a week until the Browns' first preseason game. Not mentioning any quarterbacks. Who are your pet cats?
Oh, that's a good. I like that. I always love the good pet cat question. I'm always going to go to the receiver position.
Of course you are.
Of course I am. I have to. And I don't know if it's even fair. It's like probably get in line if you want to have Denzel Boston as a pet cat. Mm-hmm. But both he and KC have been outstanding, and that has been really, really good to see. Kind of maybe on a little bit of a lower level. There are a couple guys that I really want to see in game action. And at tight end, that's Carson Ryan. He's had a very nice camp. He gets open. He catches the football. They're using him in a lot of different ways. So I'm excited to see how that translates to a game. And then at wide receiver as well, Luke Floria has had a great camp. All he does is get open and catch the football. And so I want to see, can that continue in games? And then there's a guy, Cole Wilson, who is not a big receiver, but was the leading receiver at Baylor last year, or amongst the leading receivers at Baylor last year. And he just has an ability in one-on-ones to make people look foolish. And so, again, I don't know what it's going to look like in a game, but I'm intrigued to see what he looks like at the running back position. Amani Marshall, I think, has had a very nice camp, and curious to see how he goes, because that's a real battle. Who's going to be the third running back on this team behind Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson? And I think, he and Rocket Sanders certainly competing for that, but I think Amani Marshall's had a nice camp as well.
Nathan, Todd Monken, when you're watching him conduct a practice, what have you noticed outside of the obvious that there seems to be a little more communication?
Yeah, he's got an intensity about him, and he's a teacher. He is an absolute teacher on the field. And I know that at some point there's going to be an NFL Films mic'd up that comes out about him, but you will see he is a teacher, and he is working, and he works very closely with the quarterbacks, and he works very closely with the wide receivers. And he is very specific. The specificity in what he wants on certain, let's call it, routes, or in certain timing, or in the way that steps are run, or the way that somebody's shoulders are when they're coming in and or out of a break. It reminds me of Kyle Shanahan. I haven't seen somebody with that level of specificity and attention to detail and demanding rigorous commitment to getting it exactly right since Kyle Shanahan was here. And obviously we know Kyle's been a very successful head coach in the National Football League. But that's the thing that really jumps out to me. It's the intensity. It is the lack of tolerance for garbage. And it is the teaching and the attention and the focus and the emphasis and the demand that things are done exactly the way they want them to be done.
What coach do you think has the toughest job on this? As far as the assistants, what coach do you think has the toughest job? Is it tough? Is it George Warhop? Is it the secondary? Just because you got new fresh faces in there, but you have a standard to uphold because of how good this defense has been in the past?
I think if you're looking at it from whose room, who has the most to do given what they've got in the room, I think it's probably Brandon Lynch with the cornerbacks or Jason Parver with the linebackers, because the reality of the situation is behind Tyson Campbell and Denzel Ward, yes, we brought in Damari Mathis, but he hasn't really played since 2022 in terms of a big role. We don't have people with NFL experience at those positions. We don't have guys who have taken a lot of snaps at the quarterback position. So that's going to be on Brandon Lynch, who's one of the best in the business, to coach them up. The same is true at linebacker. When you get past Carson Schlesinger and Quincy Williams, I think you maybe have something like 500 snaps combined in the NFL in that linebacker room, combined. And so he's the right guy for the job. He's got Easton Mascarenas-Arnold already playing at a high level. That's good to see. But I think those two, from a position, kind of what they've got and the experience or lack thereof in their rooms, those would be the top. On the offensive side, I think George Warhop has a tough job, because we have got to get this offensive line going, and he is. Joe Thomas absolutely loves him and thinks that he is the right guy for the job. So we're very fortunate to have him in there. And then the other one I'd say is, honestly, the wide receiver coach, Christian Jones, because he's got a room with a lot of talent. But as I said, Todd Monken is very, very demanding and hands-on with those wide receivers. And so Christian Jones, who was a tight end coach last year, spent time in a variety of roles in the offense with the Giants and then obviously with us last year. He's got to be able to take what Todd wants and get that imparted on his guys in that room. And as I said, there's a high level of specificity and rigorous demands on how he wants things to be done in that room.
Did you watch the Hall of Fame game last night?
I watched bits of it. I thought Carson Beck looked really, really good, but I did not watch the entirety of the Hall of Fame game.
I wouldn't expect you to watch the entirety of the Hall of Fame game. It's just so weird to me that a lot of football guys are like, yeah, we finally have football, and then they groan about like, okay, we're done watching the football here. It's like, well, wait a minute. Like, if you come to the natural conclusion of watching a preseason game, that's fine, but let's not start complaining about it here. It was fun. I got to hear Drew Brees, the whole deal. I thought it was a good time.
Yeah, some football is better than no football, that's for sure, even if it is the Hall of Fame game. Yeah, absolutely. No, I think had I been in a more normal environment than out at a local cantina, I would have been able to take much more of it in. But it was fun to see it. Yeah, it was fun football. And by the way, that's the first time in the history of the Hall of Fame game both teams scored 30. That's fun. Offense is fun. And seeing these young quarterbacks go out there and sling it around and run around and have fun, I like that. So I've seen the highlights after the fact, obviously, but yeah, I saw a good chunk of the first half live, and I will tell you, I thought Carson Beck was impressive.
What do we expect to see? I know we're going to probably talk to you next week about this, but still, we're over a week away. What do we expect to see maybe next Saturday as far as personnel is involved?
Yeah, Todd said the starters are going to play, so.
I guess I would ask how long would we see different people? How close of attention should we pay to the offensive line, just because there's different guys probably in different spots?
I think you should pay, if any time that you have got the starters out there, I think you should pay close attention to it, because obviously that will be very intentional on the part of Todd Monken. So I would pay very close attention to it. What that's going to look like at this point, I don't know yet, but I think, pay attention to that. And then coming off of that, pay really close attention to Thursday, August the 20th, That is the joint practice with the Buffalo Bills. I think that will be the biggest peek into where things actually stand that we will have this offseason.
Oh, I like hearing that. Nathan Zagura, because you beat me because I was going to go, does he secretly wish he had an extra that fourth preseason game? But when you're talking about that joint practice, like, yep, boom, there it is.
That's it.
That's why we have you for your expertise, because that was great stuff. Nathan, thank you for the time. I know things were difficult to get you in here. Thank you for the extra minutes as well.
You got it.
I'll make it up to you. Take care, buddy.
All right. Take care, guys.
Nathan Zagura on the Wise Heart Right, We Make It Right, Call Kyle Wright hotline. He is on the road right now, taking care of all that business and everything, so we do appreciate Nathan's time with us. Coming up at 9:43, coming in hot. Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. I know that there's some things going on politically and socially. Keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste, but it's a free-for-all, fine, let it ride. And it could have been the perfect move for both teams, but especially the Browns. I'll tell you why in 5 on the Fan.
Cleveland.com or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
Get training camp news and press conference alerts sent to your phone. Make sure you're following 92.3 The Fan.
This is head coach Todd Monken, and you're coming in hot.
You know who really liked basketball was Myles Garrett. He partly owns the Cleveland Cavaliers. What do you say about that, Owen?
I don't say a lot, but Surfside says drink their hard iced tea because they bring you that Cavaliers report.
The reporter's responsible, and they want you to drink your hard iced tea responsibly.
I'd responsibly like to get some players onto this roster. Is that ever going to happen, Anthony? You told me we were getting more players, and we haven't gotten any.
Yeah, I said that last week. I mean, this is this week.
I would like to have people do coming in hot responsibly. Will they be able to do it?
I doubt it.
Find out now on The Fan.
All right, Cleveland, it's time to get whatever you want off your chest. Cleveland, you're coming in hot. The phone lines are open now.
Please keep your comments within the boundaries of good taste. 216-474-0092. Hello, you're coming in hot.
How come when I say goodbye to a custodian, I say take care, well, it really makes more sense to say caretake?
Interesting.
Is that a quickie?
I think that's a
very
quickie.
good quickie.
Or is that a Brian Regan bit?
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Robert Pattinson playing Chris Hansen looked so good. I just wonder what actor they're going to play.
He screwed it up.
He's not even going to let it go there. He got really close 2 weeks ago. And
Did you see the trailer?
No, I didn't.
Watch the trailer. Okay. They're making it even darker than you would think.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
You got embarrassed, but now it's time to be steamrolled. Feel the pain.
Is that the big boy coming through?
It's back in Cheyenne.
Yeah, they're done.
It's back in its home area. Hello, you're coming in hot.
As big freighters go, it was bigger than most, with a belly full of Wisconsin iron. The lake, it is said, never gives up her dead when the crew hears the call of the siren.
Do you
think that's what they'll come out to? Is the
I
wreck
think
of
it's
the
bad.
Edmund Fitzgerald?
I told you, man, the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald started playing. It was on Spotify out of nowhere on that little. You remember those speakers you used to carry around? Yeah. We had it on the bass boat, and then we nearly got capsized on Lake Erie. It
was a bad.
They better name the mascot Gitchy Goomy.
Just don't tempt it, man. Don't you do it. That seriously, we're like, that was a warning. We're not playing this song, and I love that song, and I know it's an honor to those people who perish, but it's like something ain't right here. No.
Can't get Gordon to come do it for your opening
I will
night.
not listen to it in a car. I will not listen to it in anything that moves. Well, Gordon can't do it now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He hit sundown himself. Hello, you're coming in hot.
This is Tote. This is LeBron James. This fall.
Oh, this is a terrible call. Lord. Work on it. Come back next week. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Whether Ithaca or Sparta or Berea, we shall be the kings of the AFC North. Use the spears. Use the shields. I want Cincinnatus dead in a ditch. Will somebody get these Bengals out of here?
What do you think of this one so far? I'm not laughing. I need to laugh.
Did you get where that was from? That was an Odyssey reference.
I got it.
Oh. The movie or the company?
I can't believe you didn't know that, Ken.
John,
Robert
I'm not.
Pattinson said
I'm
that
not
in the
watching the movie.
I
I'm
know
not
you're
going to watch
watching
the movie.
You don't watch good movies.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Scotty! What's up, my man? This is Lawrence. You got Lawrence. Gentlemen, you guys have a great day, and happy Friday.
All righty.
What is up, Scotty? What's up, my man? Bud, you should probably know what you're talking about.
He actually scared me when he said that day. He really scared me. Hello, you're coming in hot.
I'm Miles Garrett. All I can do is sack.
Okay. It's going to be funnier at the Crushers game tonight, right?
Hope so.
Okay. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Yes, Lima, what are you more fearful of, the Shador Army or the Gab Army?
Ooh, that's a competition in and of itself.
Would you guys stop? Well, not you. She was very nice when I met her. Yeah. You know her. She's nice to you. You guys are nice with each other. Everything's nice.
All the females that get named during this bit.
I see some of the nasty comments that are sent to her. That's honestly, swear to God, that's repugnant. It's like the same guys who write weird stuff on like news women's Facebook pages.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got like grandkids in your picture. What are you doing?
Yeah, I've seen Reddit threads.
Hello, you're coming in hot.
Very enjoyable.
All right, sorry, I screwed the last call, but I feel like Fat Chris.
Nope. You messed it up. I don't want to hear it. No. This thing sucks today. This whole segment sucks today.
I have to pull the plug.
Like, usually I'm threatening with, like, the diabolical question. This isn't even a point of the diabolical question. Hello, you're coming in hot.
Hey, listen, back in the day when I was gainfully employed at a beverage store that Ken Carman used to frequent, he'd come in and we'd talk nitty-gritty football, and my boss became enamored with the celebrity status and gifted him a bottle of Jack Daniels. I was curious, Anthony, did he ever tell you that?
He did.
And thank you for the time.
Hey, did they? Hey, are you working at a liquor store again?
Not right now. Damn it. But I'll be sure to let you know when I do.
Please do. Tell her. No, I'm Facebook friends with his girlfriend.
Oh.
And she will let me know, hopefully. A word there. Oh, I'm sorry, Owen.
What, you're not allowed to say meatball?
No, there was
I think it's the word in front of that.
The word in front of meatball that he used. All right, this thing was a total dud. Perfect time for everybody to wake up and do a swarm call with us. That's going to be great.
We got to get that in.
All right. Great.
We are going to be under the microscope.
Ah, that's good.
This very show.
That's just good. Guys, you guys had a week off to work on it, and we got people dropping cuss words, and the other ones aren't even good. Marcus was the best.
You guys realize the swarm.
Yeah.
I don't think they know what a swarm call is.
Let's not talk about it.
But you realize if they were listening to that bit,
oh my God,
we might not be allowed to do this bit ever again.
Oh my God, it's gonna be terrible. That's how I feel like at like 1:15 on a Sunday. Oh my God.
I'm skipping it.
All right, first pitch tonight, Kenny.
Yep. 7 o'clock. We're gonna be over there. Crushers.
I have faith in you.
I threw a football yesterday, and then I tried to throw it underhanded like a ref would do, and it went bad.
All right, just bring a football. Kenny, just throw the football for the first pitch.
Football guy should throw a football for the first pitch.
You are the football guy.
I think there's a way I've just found it out. And I'm a lefty, so I have a natural tail.
Yeah.
It floats.
And you could do the splits like that dude from New York, that reliever.
Could do that. All right. Come on out to the Crushers game tonight. We'll all have a good time. You, me, Nick, everybody. Bring your family. Bring the kids. It's a lot of entertainment for just a little money. Thanks to Mary Kay. Wait, she was yesterday. Thanks to Daryl. Thanks to Coach Joe Moorhead. Joe Moorhead almost brought me with him on the Akron thing. Love the guy. Also, Nathan Zagura. We love him. We love you. We're back Monday, 6 to 10. Have a wonderful Tall Boy Friday, my friends.
Vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
Hey,
sounds good. Where's your entourage now?
Cool, I got on the last show. Bye, honey. Have a great day.
It's time for some commercials.
This is an Odyssey Sports Minute.
It was a landmark week for NFL running backs as 3 stars reset the entire market. Detroit's Jahmyr Gibbs led the way with a record $67.5 million extension, followed closely by Atlanta's Bijan Robinson at $66.75 million. Meanwhile, Indianapolis re-signed Jonathan Taylor to a 2-year, $44 million contract. I'm Addie Bates.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot,
and sometimes it's like.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh, yeah.
And we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance leg to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the.
Not with Fix Finder. Free at every AutoZone.
Get in the zone.